Good morning, audience. So, in the last class, we were discussing about this chapter called as taxation of unexplained income, where we try to understand that we don't have to read the chapter, we just have to read the summary line which is there in the first line of the chapter, where we came and said, in the exam, if there is any question which comes and says that if you are requested for a source of any kind of income you have, expenditure you have, investment you have, or any kind of money which you have, if you are able to explain the source of investment, great. If you are not able to explain the source of investment, or if you try to explain the source of investment but assessing officer is not satisfied, the incomes which you have, the investments which you have, the assets which you have, the money which you have, every single item becomes an unexplained income. This is what we discussed in the last class and we ended with that. Yes. I told you that whenever you have something called as unexplained income, the issue which comes with income tax is that income tax is asking now for a 78% tax. Income tax is asking for a 78% tax. How does the 78% work? It is 60% of tax plus 25% of mandatory surcharge and a 4% of cess. So, you are ending up in a 78% effective tax rate model, and you have to pay that 78% tax rate without claiming any kind of deductions, expenses, basic exemption limit. Nothing will be permitted to you. Maybe you can claim one small item called as rebate. Maybe you can claim one small item called as rebate. Beyond that, everything else is not allowed for you. Yes, this is what the idea was when it comes to unexplained income. This is what we ended the last class discussion. This is what we ended with the last class discussion. There is one small topic pending in this, not very important from exam, but just to clarify to you, we have something called as hundi. We have something called as hundi. Now, what is hundi? If I have to explain to you properly, hundi is basically like a hawala transaction. What transaction? Hawala transaction. So, if I have to justify it to you, let's say for example, let's say for example, you are in a scenario where you are going to do a hundi transaction. You're going to do what? You're going to do a hundi transaction. Now, what do you mean by hundi transaction, Rahul? I don't know how many people have watched it. There was this very famous movie in India called as Shivaji the Boss, correct? Yes. Now, the Shivaji the Boss, if you notice, what happened is Shivaji, which was Rajnikant, had actually taken money from politicians, had taken the illegal money from the politicians, and he had requested that if you want me not to go and inform the government, 50% of it is mine, 50% of it is yours. Illana, everything will go to department. Illana, everything will go to department. This is what his condition was. Yes or no? Yes. Now, when he did that, if you remember, the moment he got all this money, he wanted to make it white money. And so what he did is he went to US. He went to someone and he showed one 100 rupees bill, 100 or 1000 rupees bill he showed. He showed a 100 or 1000 rupees bill. The person saw the serial number and then automatically gave him US dollars. Yes or no? Yes. That transaction is called as a hundi transaction. That transaction is called as a hundi transaction. What do you mean by a hundi transaction? You are looking at a scenario where you are Mr. A. You are Mr. A. You are Mr. A. You want to get money from someone else, like say B. Let's say B. What are you doing is you are going from A to B. You are going from A to B and you are coming and saying, I will give you money on one side, you give me an hundi. I will give you money on one side, you give me hundi. So, what happens is this person will give him money. In exchange for it, this person will give him a hundi. This person will give him a hundi. Yes or no? What will I do with this hundi? I will take this hundi and go to another person called C, for example. I will go to another person called C. I will surrender this hundi to him. I will surrender this hundi to him and get money in exchange. Basically, you are doing a simple loan transaction. You are doing a simple loan transaction. The problem is the instrument which you are using against it is called as a hundi. The instrument which you are using against it is called as hundi. Now, why is hundi so significant, Rahul? Hundis in Negotiable Instrument Act are considered illegal. Hundis in Negotiable Instrument Act are considered illegal because hundi is not a permissible mode of instrument. It's not a permissible mode of instrument for the simple reason that people use this hundi for illegal transactions. For what transactions? Illegal transactions. Let's say for example, you are in Taliban. Okay, let's say for example, you are in Taliban, which means you are in Afghanistan. Okay, now what happened is you are in Taliban planning to attack India. Now, when you want to plan to attack India, obviously you need weapons. Yes or no? Now, when you want weapons, do you think you can bring it from Afghanistan to India in a ship or in a flight? Obviously no. Yes. So, what you will do is you will go to someone in India. You will go to someone in India and you will come and say, let's say for example, Mr. X. You will go to a person called Mr. X in India and you will come and say, dear Mr. X, I want weapons, I want to attack India. I want weapons, I want to attack India. Mr. X will ask for money. Yes or no? Now imagine, no? Do you think that Mr. A, who's from Afghanistan, would have carried all the money and come to India? Obviously no. He would have not carried any money to India. So what happens is, he will come and say, I cannot give you money in India. I cannot give you money in India. I don't have so much money in India for me to buy weapons from you in India, but I have enough money in my own country. I have enough money in my own country. So what will happen is, Mr. X will have another person. Mr. X will have an other person in Afghanistan itself. In Afghanistan itself, what Mr. X will say, you do one thing, you go and give this money to XA. You go and give this money to XA. So what will happen is, Mr. A will go and give the money to XA. Mr. X will go and give this money to XA, and XA will come and call X and come and say, I have received the money, you give the weapons. I have received the money, you give the weapons. So what will happen? X will give the weapons to A. X will give the weapons to A. In India or outside India? In India. So if you notice what has happened, a part of the transaction has happened outside India, but a part of the transaction is happening in India, where what is happening is, you are purposely making a transaction outside India because it is illegal in India. It is illegal in India. This transaction which you are doing, where you are giving money to Mr. X and coming and saying that you can in exchange buy money, in exchange buy rupees, this is called as a hundi transaction. This is called as an hundi transaction. In Indian words, very famously we use the word hawala transaction. In India, very famously we use hawala transaction, where we come and say that you have done a hawala transaction. Basically, you wanted weapons in India, you did not pay the money in exchange for that weapons in India, you paid it outside India. You paid it outside India, which income tax did not get to know. But until the time you got the weapons in India, it was a loan given, yes or no? You gave a loan to Mr. XA. Income tax comes and says that if at all you receive any money from someone, in the form of a hundi, the money which you received will be treated as unexplained. Yes, understand the difference. Until now, I always came and told you that whenever you have any kind of money or income or investment or expense, assessing officer will give you a chance. He will come and say, this is what you have done, you explain me the source. So if I am not satisfied, I will tax it. So in earlier cases, we gave you a chance. In this scenario, there is no chance. The provision come and say, when a transaction happens through hundi, it is deemed as income. You don't have to justify now. Who doesn't have to justify? Assessee does not have to justify, because it is treated as income. No one will come and ask you anything. Which means, in this scenario, I will straightforward come and say, you are doing an unexplained transaction. I don't even have to justify. It is directly taxable, fully taxable off. Yes, this is what is called as a hundi transaction. There is only one exception to this. This exception comes and says that I will not tax it. If you are doing this hundi transaction through an account pay check. What check? Account pay check. Rahul, why are you talking about account pay check? Understand, no? Why did you do this hawala transaction? Because you did not want to show the money. Yes or no? You did not want to show the money because the money was illegal money. Now, if you are going to do this transaction through account pay check, do you think department will not get to know? Department will easily get to know, because you are also having a bank account, the other person is also having a bank account. Clear cut case you can find out. These kind of transactions will only happen in cash normally, yes or no? Because the money is illegal money. So they're saying, boss, if you do the transaction through account pay check, then I will not tax it for you. If you do it anyway other than by account pay check, I will tax it for you. Yes or no? Yes. Let's read the provision. It says, where the amount is borrowed on hundi or is repaid along with interest and is received by other than by account pay check, in that case, the amount borrowed or repaid shall be deemed to be the income of the person. Where the borrowed money has already been deemed as an income, shall not again be treated as income on repayment. Now, if you notice, like I told you, see the top, no? It says, where the assessee has incurred any expenditure and the assessing officer is asking for such explanation, or he is giving explanation but he is not satisfied, then it becomes an income. Now notice, no, in the scenario I am telling assessing officer will give you an opportunity to explain. In this scenario, have I given something like this? Have I given something like this? Nothing. It is directly coming and saying where the amount is borrowed or repaid other than by account paycheck, the amount borrowed or repaid shall be deemed to be the income. Straightforward income. No explanation required. No explanation required. You will directly tax everything as income. You will directly tax everything as income. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Right. This is your 6 transactions. You are doing a transaction in cash, you're doing transaction in asset, you're doing transaction in money, you're doing any partial transaction in asset or cash, you're doing any unexplained expenditure, and the last is you're doing a borrowing of hundi. You're doing a borrowing of hundi. If you do any of these transactions, it will become taxable as unexplained income. I told you, if you're going to tax something as unexplained income, it will be taxable at the rate of 60% plus a surcharge of 25% plus a cess of 4%, arriving at an effective tax rate of 78%. Arriving at an effective tax rate of 78%. If you're going to tax something at 78%, you will not be allowed any expense or deduction. You will not be allowed any kind of losses. You can also not claim any basic exemption limit. You can also not claim any basic exemption limit. Rebate can be claimed. Rebate is eligible. Rebate is eligible. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. No, 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 no. Rahul, I have some money. I did not pay tax on that money. Technically, it is called as black money. Technically, it is called as black money. Income tax will come and say, you should have paid tax on this money. You did not pay tax. So, therefore, I am collecting 78%. Therefore, I am collecting 78%. But the 78% is a tax. The 78% is a tax. Over and above that, you have cheated me also. Over and above that, you have cheated me also. For the cheating part also, I will collect from you something called as penalty. I will collect something called as penalty. Income tax comes and says, in case of an unexplained income, the assessing officer may also levy 10% of the tax payable as a penalty. 10% of the tax payable as a penalty, which means if your income is 100, if your income is 100, tax on that will be 78%. Tax on that will be 78%. Penalty on that will be 7.8. Will be 7.8. What is 7.8, Rahul? It is 10% of tax. It is 10% of tax, which means effectively you will have to pay to government 85.8. How much you will have to pay? 85.8. This is what the money will go from your hands to the department. This is what will happen from your hands to department. Rahul, 100 rupees was the income. 85.8 you have paid to department. How much is left, Rahul? 14.2. Rahul, this 14.2 has now become white money, not become white money. It has become white money. It has become white money, Rahul. Why you have become white money? Because you have paid tax on it. You have paid tax on it. The moment you have paid tax on it, you have declared the income. The moment you have declared the income, income tax will say, yes, this is a valid legal income. This is a valid legal income. So the 14.2 will become a valid income for you. You can treat it as white money. You can treat it as white money. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is what the provisions of unexplained income are. Any doubts? No. Can we go forward? Yes. I have, I think, 1 or 2 questions in my question bank. Let's see the questions. Yeah. It says, Mr. C has borrowed on hundi a sum of 25,000 by bearer check on 11th September 2023. and has repaid the same with an interest amounting to 30,000 by account pay check on 12th October 2023. The AO wants to treat the amount borrowed as income during the previous year. Is the AO valid? Is the AO valid? Is the AO valid? Yes. Like I told you, whenever you're doing a transaction of hundi, whether you're borrowing or repaying money, it should happen only by account pay check. Is it happening by account pay check? Is it happening by account pay check? No, it is happening by bearer check. If it is happening by bearer check is permissible, not permissible? It is not permissible, which means any money which is borrowed or repaid on hundi will be treated as unexplained income. Will be treated as unexplained income, and therefore the action of AO is valid. The action of AO is valid. Yes, I told you how to write a question like this in theory. You have to first write the provision, then write the facts, then write the analysis, end with the conclusion. End with the conclusion. Let's read. It says section 69D provides that where an amount is borrowed on a hundi or an amount due is repaid thereon, otherwise than by account pay check, the amount so borrowed or repaid shall be deemed to be the income of the person. Borrowing or repaying the amount for the previous year in which the amount was so borrowed or repaid. In the present case, Mr. C has borrowed 25,000 on hundi by way of bearer check. Therefore, it shall be deemed to be the income of Mr. C for the previous year 23-24. Since the repayments of the same along with interest was made by account pay check, the same would not be hit by the provisions of section 69D. And therefore, the actions of AO treating the amount borrowed is valid. If you notice, the first para was your provision. In this, the first line here was your fact. Yes. After that, subsequent line was your analysis, and therefore on the bottom you find conclusion. Yes, this is what your sequence is. You have to follow the sequence if you are writing a theory. Clear? Yes. Next question. The assessing officer during the course of the assessment of a firm found that it had paid rent in respect of its business premises amounting to 60,000, which was not debited in the books of the accounts for the previous year ended 31st March 2024. There is a firm who has paid rent, but has not claimed as an expense. The firm did not explain the source of payment for rent. The assessing officer is proposing to make the addition of 60,000 in the hands of the firm because he did not explain the source. The firm claims that even if the addition is made, the sum of 60,000 should be allowed as a deduction while computing the business income, since it is used for the business. Basically, what the assessee is coming and saying is, you tax 60,000 for me. You also allow 60,000 for me. Net my income is 0. So you should pay tax of 0. This is what assessee comes and says. Assessing officer says, get lost, boss. I will only take the 60,000. So therefore, your income will become 60,000 and I will tax 78%. Is assessing officer right or assessee right? Assessing officer is right. Why is assessing officer right? Very good. The moment you have any kind of expenditure which is not explained, satisfactory, the expenditure becomes an income. And the moment something is income, you cannot claim any kind of deduction or expense against it. So even though it is an income, it will not be allowed as a deduction. And therefore the contention of assessee is not valid. Only the contention of assessing officer is valid. He can tax 60,000 fully without allowing any kind of deductions, even if you have claimed nothing as an expense. Yes. This is what your chapter on unexplained income is. Clear? Yes. Can we go forward to a smaller chapter? Yes. Moving on to the next smaller chapter before we start our head of income. We are looking into agricultural income. Tax. Yes. Now, when I started the subject itself, I came and told you that whenever you have any kind of tax, this chapters or this subject only talks about income tax. This chapter does not talk about any kind of agricultural income tax. Which means if you have any kind of agricultural income tax, it will be taxable under state laws. Yes or no? Yes. So therefore, the question which then comes is, Rahul, something is going to become taxable under state law. Now I do agree that, but the problem comes in scenarios where I don't know how to find out how much is taxable. How to find out how much is taxable. Let's say, for example, you are in a business of creating tea. Now, if you are into the business of creating tea, you first have to grow the tea leaves. Yes. So you are growing the tea leaves, then you are sending it to your factory. Factory is making tea leaves out. Factory is making the chai patti out of it. Now the question which then came up to you is, Rahul, I am creating the tea leaves also. I am processing the tea leaves also and making tea also, which means technically I am doing an agricultural operations also, I am doing business operations also. Now, who should tax what? Who should tax what? Should everything be taxable by central government, or should some portion go to state government? Yes or no? Yes. So this chapter basically comes and helps you clarify as to what is that kind of income which is taxable in the hands of state, and what is the kind of income which is taxable in the hands of central. What is the kind of income which is taxable in the hands of central? Yes. So why this chapter, Rahul? This chapter will help you understand which of the incomes will be taxable under state and which of the incomes will be taxable in the hands of central when you have a complicated scenario. Yes. Before we get into that part itself, we have to first understand what do you mean by agriculture. What do you mean by agriculture? In income tax, they come and say, Rahul, agriculture means any kind of operations of agriculture. What does agriculture mean? Any kind of operations you do on. Any kind of operations which you do of agriculture on Indian urban land. What land? Indian, no sorry, not urban land, Indian rural land. Any kind of operations which you do on an agriculture which is done on an Indian rural land, which means you have a rural land. On that rural land, you are going to do some operations of agriculture, like what? You can create fruits, you can create vegetables and all those things. So you are doing a basic operations of agriculture. You're doing some basic operations of agriculture. That is called as agriculture. Now, question which has come up is, Rahul, I am planning to create rice. Now, if you're planning to create rice, is rice agriculture? No, because rice is going to be processed. What is going to be agriculture is the paddy. Yes or no? So you have a land, on that land you create a paddy, that is agriculture. Paddy gets converted into rice, that becomes processed product. Now what is happening is, I am planning to create paddy. Is paddy agriculture? Yes, paddy is agriculture. Now what happened is, Rahul, I created paddy. For that paddy, what happened is, I also had to incur some expenses like doing thrashing and all those things. Yes, you have to remove that weeds, pesticides and all those things. You have to thrash it, you have to cut it and all those things. Yes, so those are some extra operations. Without those operations, I will not be able to sell this paddy in the market. Without this operations, I will not be able to sell this product in the market. In that case, the operations which you did on that product, it has not been done on the land, but it is important for you to make the product saleable. In that case, do you think that operations which you have done is also agriculture? Yes. So second condition, they are coming and saying, doing operations of agriculture on Indian rural land is an agriculture, Second, they are coming and saying, any basic operations, basic operations which you are doing on the product. Any basic operations which is done on the product to make the product saleable. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you are in sugarcane. Okay, what have you done is, you have manufactured sugar, you have grown sugarcane, and you are planning to sell sugarcane off. But what you are doing is, instead of doing sugarcane sale directly, you are actually doing all this churning. You're doing the churning and you're actually pulling out the juice from the sugarcane. That juice from the sugarcane is what you're selling. Now, the churning which you did for extracting the juice, is it agriculture or not agriculture? Is it agriculture or not agriculture? It is not agriculture. Rahul, why is it not agriculture? Understand, you could have sold sugarcane directly also. No one came and told you that only if you give me the juice, I will buy the sugarcane. Yes or no? Sugarcane could have been bought as it is, which means the extractivity which you did for getting the juice out of it is not a part of agriculture. That will become business income. Understand? Yes. So what I'm talking about is, I'm talking about doing basic growing activities on a land, and I'm also talking about any operations which is required for doing that basic operations. Any operations required to do the basic operations. Next, I'm coming and saying that, Rahul, I have the land. I have a land which is an agriculture land, but I don't have the skills to do agriculture. Do you think I'll keep the land just like that? No. What will I do? I will give this land to someone else for agriculture. Yes. So which means I am doing the rent of the land. I have a land, I've given it to someone for rent. That person is going to use it for agriculture. Now in that case, is it agriculture, not agriculture? Renting of the land, obtaining income from it, is it agriculture income, not agriculture income? It is still agricultural income. Why, Rahul? Because understand, you gave this land for agricultural purpose. You gave this land for agricultural purpose, so which means that is also an agricultural income. So the next part is income derived from the rural land. What? Income derived from the rural land. So if you have derived any income from the rural land in the form of rent, that is also agriculture. That is also agriculture. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, there is a person called A. There is a person called A, and there is a person called B. There is a person called B. A went to B and he came and said, "Dear B, I have a land. I have a land, but I don't have agricultural skills. I don't have agricultural skills. It's okay, you do one thing, I will give this land on rent to you, you do agriculture." Okay, in exchange, what will B do? B will give him, what will B give him? B will give him rent. Yes or no? Yes. Now, unfortunately, what happened? B also does not know how to do agriculture. B also does not know how to do agriculture. So what happened is, B went to a person called C. B went to a person called C. Now, C is a farmer. C is a farmer. So B went to C and he came and said, "Dear C, I have a land in my hand. I have a land in my hand. It's not my own land, but I have the control. I have the control. I'm giving this land to you. I'm giving this land to you. You do agriculture on it and you give me in exchange rent. You give me in exchange rent. Yes or no? Yes." Now the question which then came up is, Rahul, A was the owner of the land. A got a rent. A was the owner of the land. A got a rent. For A, it is agriculture, not agriculture. For A, it is agriculture. Yes or no? Yes or no? B had the land in a sublease format. B had the land in sublease format. Is it his land? Is it his land? No. But B is giving this land to C for sublease. Yes. In exchange for which B is getting rent. Is it still agriculture? Yes. It is also agriculture. Apo Rahul, how to find out whether it is agriculture or not? Simple. Find out what is actually happening on the land. Find out what is actually happening on the land. At the end of the day, land is going to be used for agriculture by C. In that case, it is still agriculture. In that case, it is still agriculture. So which means whether it is from A to B or B to C, it doesn't matter. Everything will be called as agricultural income. Everything will be called as agricultural income. Clear? Clear? Yes. Last. Transfer of rural land. Transfer of rural land. Now the question which then came up is, Rahul, I have an agricultural land. Okay, I have an agricultural land. I am not doing agriculture. I don't want someone else to also do agriculture. I don't want someone else to also do agriculture. But there is this one person who comes to me and he comes and says, dear Rahul, your land, I know you are wasting your land. You are not doing a single agriculture also. Do one thing, sell this land to me. Sell this land to me. I will do agriculture on this. I will do agriculture on this. So I am now planning to sell the land. I am now planning to sell the land. For me, income will be under what head? It will be under capital gains. Yes or no? It will be under capital gains. Now the question which then came up is, Rahul, I am going to earn income from capital gains. I am going to earn income from capital gains. Is that income of capital gains agriculture income, not agriculture income? That is also agriculture income. Rahul, why is that also agriculture income? Because understand, at the end of the day, the land was agricultural land. You gave it to someone for agricultural operations. So which means the land, when you bought itself, you bought it for agricultural purposes, which means that will also become agriculture. That will also become agriculture. Yes or no? Yes. So therefore, income tax in simple words are coming and saying, boss, what are the kind of agricultural incomes? First, you do operations on the land itself. You do operations on the land itself. Second, they are coming and saying, no, you did operations, but you did some extra operations also for you to make the product saleable. Third, you are coming and saying, Rahul, you have not done operations yourself. You have given the land to someone else to do operations. That is also covered. Fourth, I am coming and saying, you also did not do operations. You did not let someone else also do operations. You gave up the asset for someone else to do operations. You gave up the asset for someone else to do operations. That is also agriculture. That is also agriculture. Yes or no? Yes. So 4 items are considered as agriculture for you. 4 items are considered agriculture for you. Any doubts? No. Last. Rahul, I have created a warehouse. I have created a warehouse. Yes, what I'm doing is the land which I have, on that land itself I have created one warehouse. Okay, in that warehouse what is happening is I am calling other farmers. I'm calling other farmers and I'm telling the other farmers, if you want to use my warehouse, you can use my warehouse, you have to pay me rent. You have to pay me rent. So the question which then come up is, Rahul, now this person is going to receive rent from the warehouse which is there in the same land. Yes, is it agriculture? Not agriculture. It is also agriculture. Why, Rahul, is it agriculture? Because understand, at the end of the day the land is going to be agricultural land. Warehouse is also for agricultural purpose. You are giving the warehouse to someone for agricultural purpose. So therefore it will continue to be agricultural operations. It will continue to be agricultural operations. At the end of the day, my idea is very simple. When you use the land which is agricultural land and rural in nature, it will be called as agricultural income. Whatever you do on the land, everything is agricultural income. Whether you sell off the land itself or you give this land for rent or you put something on the land, everything is agricultural operations. Except for one scenario where you are not doing any, where you are doing extra operations beyond what is required. Where you are doing extra operations beyond what is required, that extra operations will be called as business income. The extra operations will be called as business income. Yes or no? Yes, yes. Now, question came up is, Rahul, you are telling me that you want an what land? You want an rural agricultural land. You want an rural agricultural land, which means then the question which came up is, Rahul, what do you mean by a rural agricultural land? What do you mean by a rural agricultural land? Income tax came and said, what is a rural agricultural land? A land which is not a urban agricultural land. What is rural land? A land which is not a urban agricultural land, which means now you need to define what is an urban agricultural land. Yes, income tax came and said, Rahul, what do you mean by urban agricultural land? You can decide it based on your population size. You can decide it based on your population size. Yes, what is happening is income tax is coming and saying, Rahul, assuming this is the municipality. What is it? The municipality. Assuming the middle part is the municipality. In that municipality, if you have a land, in the municipality, if you have a land, that land will be called as agricultural land if the population in this municipality is 10,000 or more. How much? 10,000 or more. In what? In that municipality. So assuming you have a land here, assuming you have a land somewhere here. Okay. Now you want to find out whether the land which is there here, you have a land somewhere here, you want to decide whether this land is agricultural or rural agriculture or urban agriculture. You will come and say, Rahul, if you have a land inside the municipality, check what is the population of the municipality. If you tell me that the population of the municipality is 10,000 or more, I will come and say land is urban land. I'll come and say land is urban land, which means income is taxable, not taxable. It is taxable because it is urban land. I only want rural land. I only want rural land. I came and said, no, Rahul, actually the land is not in the municipality. The land is not in the municipality. The land is actually within 2 kilometers of the municipality. The land is within 2 kilometers of the municipality, which means it is in this ring. Somewhere here it is, let's say for example. It is somewhere here. Yes. Now, it is in the municipality, not in the municipality. It is not in the municipality. Income tax is saying that if land is not in the municipality, but it is within 2 kilometers of the municipality. It is within 2 kilometers of the municipality. It will consider itself as an urban land. Again, if the population size of the municipality, including the 2 kilometers area, of what? Of the municipality, including the 2 kilometers area, which means this whole area. Which means the whole area. If this whole area has population more than 10,000, if the population has more than 10,000, yes. So they are coming and saying, Rahul, check where the land is. If the land is within the municipality, then municipality 10,000. If the land is within 2 kilometers, the 2 kilometers area with the municipality 10,000. If it is more than 10,000, it is urban. If it is less than 10,000, it is rural. I'm saying no, Rahul, it is not within 2 kilometers also. It is not within 2 kilometers also. It is actually within 6 kilometers, Rahul. Actually within 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers from where? From the municipality. From the municipality, it is within 6 kilometers. It is within 6 kilometers, which means it is falling between 3 kilometers to 6 kilometers. It is falling within 3 kilometer to 6 kilometer. Income tax comes and says that if you have a land somewhere here, this land will be called as urban land. This land will be called as urban land if the population size is more than 1 lakh. If the population size is more than 1 lakh. More than 1 lakh where? It is from the municipality till the 6 kilometers. It is from the municipality till the 6 kilometers, which means you have to take the full portion. You have to take the full portion. Yes or no? Yes. This full portion will be called as urban land if at all the population goes more than 6 kilometers. If the population goes more than 1 lakh. The population goes more than 1 lakh. I'm saying no, Rahul. Actually, the building is not within 6 kilometers also. The building is within 8 kilometers. The building is within 8 kilometers. If the building is within 8 kilometers, I'm coming and saying that Rahul, the land is somewhere here, which means it is falling within the 7th kilometer to the 8th kilometer. I'm coming and saying in that case, Rahul, check whether the population is more than 10 lakhs. Check whether the population is more than 10 lakhs. If the population is more than 10 lakhs, Rahul, then it will become a urban land. If the population is less than 10 lakhs, it will become rural land. It will become rural land. Yes, yes. I'm coming and saying, Rahul, my actual land is here. My actual land is here, which is outside the 8 kilometers also. Which is outside the 8 kilometers also. In that case, I'll come and say, forget it off. It is always rural. Forget it off. It is always rural. I don't have to bother. Yes, 8 kilometers kapro, I don't have to check the population itself. After 8 kilometers, I don't have to check the population itself. Land will automatically become rural land. Land will automatically become rural land. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is what the criteria are. This is what the criteria are. What are the criteria? If the land is within the municipality, then you have to check for 10,000. If the land is within 2 kilometers, you have to check for 10,000. If the land is within 6 kilometers, you have to check for 1 lakh. If the land is beyond 6 kilometers but within 8 kilometers, you have to check for 10 lakhs. If it is anything beyond 8 kilometers, it is always rural. It is always rural. This is what the idea is. Yes or no? Yes. Now the question which then comes is, Rahul, first of all, from where should I take the 6 kilometers? From where should I take the 6 kilometers? If my land is here, which is the 6 kilometer range, should I take the 6 kilometers from here, from here, or is it from here? Is it from here? The reason I'm asking this is because right now this may look into the 6 kilometers bracket, but what if you come and say I want to take it from here? Apdi pata, technically this has become more than 8 kilometers, so you can call it as rural land. Yes or no? Yes. So the question which then comes is how to find out that 6 kilometers range. Income tax says, boss, 6 kilometers will be taken from the nearest municipality. From the nearest municipality border. My municipality border ended here. Yes or no? Yes. So I will draw a straight line. I will draw a straight line. This is how I will calculate my distance. This is how I will calculate my distance. If this distance is more than 6 kilometers but less than 8 kilometers, then I have to check for a population of 10 lakhs. Then I have to check for a population of 10 lakhs, which means the land will be checked from the nearest distance from the municipality border. Will be checked from the nearest distance of the municipality border. Yes or no? Yes. Scenario number 2, Rahul. I have a land here. This is my municipality. From this area, this is actually showing 9 kilometers. This is showing 9 kilometers, but there is another municipality here. From this area of municipality, it is showing only 2 kilometers. Only 2 kilometers. Question to you, Rahul, should I consider this land as rural from 9 kilometers or should I consider this land as urban from 2 kilometers? Income tax comes and says, whenever you are trying to find the distance, don't take the distance from the farthest area, take the distance from the nearest border. The nearest border here is 2 kilometers. So you will check for the population size of 10,000. You check the population size of 10,000. If it is going more than 10,000, you will consider it as urban. Otherwise, you will consider it as rural. Otherwise, you will consider it as rural. Yes or no? Yes. Last scenario. Rahul, what happened is I am in the border of municipality. This is the border of municipality. Okay. My land is actually here. My land is actually here. And what happened is land is showing within 3 kilometers. Land is showing within 3 kilometers. I was very sure that the land will become an rural, urban land. I was very sure that the land will become an urban land. So what I did is I played a game. I bought this whole area. And in this whole area, what I did is I created a road. You know how the road looks like? The road is starting from here. It goes like this. It goes like this. It goes like this. It goes like this. It goes like this, and then it reaches here. Actually, if you walk by road, the distance is 12 kilometers. If you walk by road, the distance is 12 kilometers. I go to the assessing officer and come and say, sir, from me to reach from my border to my land will take 12 kilometers. Therefore, this land is rural land. Is the assessee right or is the assessee wrong? Why? I said distance. No, I said distance from the border. Distance from the border is how much? By walk, it is how much? Rural, urban? Very good. Income tax comes and says, boss, I am not bothered about what is the distance by road. I am bothered about what is the distance by air. Why am I bothered about air, Rahul? Because if it is air, I don't have to bother about what the road looks like. Yes, if I'm standing here and I want to go here, by road it may take like this, but by air it will be a straight line. Yes or no? By air it will be a straight line. So therefore income tax comes and says to check for the distance should be from the nearest border on an aerial distance. So you have to check the 2 kilometers on an aerial level. Yes or no? Yes. This is what income tax comes and says. Any doubts till now? No. So we have understood what happens when agriculture happens and how to determine whether the land is rural land or agricultural land, rural land or urban land. Yes or no? Yes. Yes, ma.
Within the municipal corporation also 10,000 we have to check from 2 kilometers also same population.
Yes, exactly. What income tax comes and says, no, that up to 2 kilometers it is technically considered as municipal land only. Okay, so up to 2 kilometers you will as good as assume it as municipal land. People have control over it. It's like in India you have 12 nautical miles varaku it's territorial waters. Adhe mari for municipality up to 2 kilometers it is considered as municipality area only. So all put together you can check for 10,000.
Second condition.
Which condition, ma?
Second one, 2 kilometers and 9 kilometers.
Acha. Income tax is coming and saying that, boss, if you look it from the left side, technically this has become a rural land. Yes, but if you look it from the right side, it has become an urban land. Why? Because you are not checking from the nearest distance. You're not checking from the nearest distance. Understand now, if I have to actually make the left side possible, what I'll do is, I will buy a land in Assam. And I'll come and say, my nearest municipality is Chennai. From Chennai to Assam, obviously it will be more than 8 kilometers, and I'll come and say it is always a rural. Understand, it is not the criteria like that. Okay. If you are having a land in Assam, you should take the nearest municipality in Assam. You cannot come and talk about Chennai. Yes. Therefore, I am coming and saying for you to check whether it is rural or urban, do not check the land which is very far away. Check the land which is very closest. I mean, check the municipality which is the very closest. Basis that municipality you will check for the population. Yes. Okay. Can we go forward? Yes. Now, the issue which happened for me, Rahul, is that I am coming and saying this is what my conditions are for agriculture. Now, when I started this class, when I started the batch, I also came and asked you one simple question. Rahul, do you think agriculture happens in every country, every state? Do you think agriculture happens in every state or it happens only in some states? It happens only in some states. But the other states which are there, do you think they don't do agriculture at all? Or do you think they do agriculture? They will do agriculture. Yes, everyone needs some food. So they will also do agriculture. Now, do you have a land for doing agriculture? Do you have a land to do agriculture? No. In that case, what happens is these kind of states also have a concept called as creating nurseries. What? Creating nurseries. Now what is this nursery, Rahul? If you notice, no, you would have seen this in what do you say? In your schooling and all, you would have learned something called as greenhouse and all. Yes, where you can create products. There is a very famous movie called Harry Potter. In that Harry Potter and all, you'll see there will be one big shed, and the shed cooler they'll be growing plants and everything. Yes, that is called as a nursery. Nursery is basically an area where you are trying to do agriculture. You're trying to do agriculture by not using the land, but by creating artificial atmosphere. So what happened is there is a person who opened up a nursery. And in this nursery he is growing crops. He's doing what? He's growing crops. Yes. Now what happened is this person was running a nursery. He was growing crops in that nursery. And he was claiming that as an agriculture income. Income tax officer came to this person and came and said, "Dear person, you cannot claim this as agriculture income because for you to do agriculture, you should have a land. Are you doing this on land? No, you're doing it inside a shed. So is this called as an agriculture or not? Is the question which came up. Is the question came up. What I did is, as an associate, I went to my state government. And came and said, "Dear state government, income tax is coming and saying this is taxable under central law. You may lose money. At the end of the day, I am doing agriculture. Just that I cannot do land agriculture. I am doing it in a nursery. At the end of the day, am I doing agriculture or not doing agriculture? I am doing agriculture." So I went to the state government and I came and said, "Dear state government, this is something which is wrong. Central is asking for money. Help me out. State went and talked to central government and came and said, "No, sir, don't tax all this. I want my money because I have spent so much money in creating that nursery. Even though my state could not do agriculture, I created the nursery so that my state can do agriculture. So I still want tax on that in the state. Therefore, income tax came and said, if you do any operations on nursery, it will also be considered as agriculture. So they said, considered as agriculture, even if not done on land. What happened? I am considering it as agriculture even though it is not done on land. So this is only one exception given to you. Normally, any kind of agriculture income will only be agriculture income if it is done on land. Only one exception given to you if you do it through a nursery. Yes or no? Yes. Next, Rahul, what happened is I have an agriculture land also. It is rural also. The only problem is it is in Pakistan. What is it in? It is Pakistan. I have a land in Pakistan. On that land in Pakistan, I am doing agriculture. And I am deriving money. Question which then came up is, Rahul, the money which is coming from the Pakistan land is taxable in my hands because it is ROR. I am an ROR. My global income is taxable. Which means every state is now coming and fighting. They are coming and saying, Rahul, I want tax on this. Why? Because I am having agriculture from Pakistan, but I am sitting in Chennai. So Tamil Nadu government is saying, I want money. Kerala government is coming and saying, no, Rahul, actually for you to do Pakistan, you actually bought seeds from Kerala. So Kerala state is also coming and asking, give me tax. Tamil Nadu is also saying, give me tax. Now there is a huge problem. Because we don't know which state will collect. I told you in the past that if you have a land in some place, that state will collect it off. Yes, but right now the land is not in India, the land is in Pakistan. So the question which then came up is, who will collect taxes? Income tax stood up and came and said, forget off, no one of you can collect taxes. None of you can collect taxes. I will collect taxes. In simple words, income tax comes and says in section 10.1. That any agriculture income is exempt from income tax. only for income from land in India. Very good. Only from a land in India. In simple words, income tax comes and says if the agriculture is happening in India, then it is exempt from income tax. But if the agriculture is happening in foreign, then it is fully taxable. Then it is fully taxable under income tax itself, which means can state collect taxes? No, state cannot collect taxes. This is what the idea is. This is what the idea is. Yes or no? Yes. So this is being told under section 10(1). This is be told under section 10(1). Section 10(1) comes and says any income from agriculture from a land situated in India will be exempt from income tax and state cannot collect taxes. And state cannot collect taxes. However, if any agriculture income is coming from land outside India, income tax will collect taxes. State has no authority. State has no authority. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, this is what the provisions are. Let's read. Let's read. It says, section 10(1) says, any agriculture income earned by an assessee during the year shall be exempt from tax. Shall be exempt from tax. What do you mean by agriculture income, Rahul? Agriculture income means any kind of rent or revenue which is derived from an eligible land situated in India for agricultural purpose. The important point here is it should be situated in India. Important point is it should be situated in India. If it is situated in foreign, is it taxable or exempt? It is taxable. It is taxable. So this is an important point. It should be situated in India. Understand what I'm telling? I'm telling any kind of rent or revenue, which means if you're giving the land for rent, then it is agriculture. If you're having a warehouse in the land, that is also agriculture. Next, income derived from such eligible land by agriculture. You're doing agriculture. Next, you're doing any kind of process which is ordinarily employed in to render the agricultural produce fit to be taken to the market. Yes, you have done some basic operations which is helping you do the product fitable to sale in the market, like thrashing, winnowing, cleaning, drying, crushing, all those items. Next I'm saying any kind of sale of agricultural produce in the market by the cultivator in kind provided no process other than the one above is performed. Okay, for you to sell in the market also you may incur some selling expenses, you may do some marketing and all those things. Those things are also agriculture. Those things are also agricultural. Will not be a problem. Will not be a problem. It should just not be any activity which is not helping you sell it. Not be any activity which is not helping you sell it, like further processing and all will not be considered. Will not be considered. Last item I'm coming and saying any kind of income which is derived from a dwelling house or a storehouse. Any kind of income which is derived from a dwelling house or a storehouse or in the immediate vicinity of the eligible land used for agricultural operations. So which means if you have a storehouse or a warehouse in the land, that operations income is also exempt from agriculture. Exempt in agriculture. Yes, yes. Next, we have agricultural colleges. Okay, they will have a land for class purpose. Okay, correct. Okay, so you're talking about having an you're talking about going to an agriculture college where they are having a land for doing agriculture, correct? First of all, question which then comes is agricultural college is there in the municipality or is it outside municipality? If you tell me it is within municipality, then I'll come and say it is urban land only. It is urban land only. If you say me it is outside municipality, then in that case it may become a rural land. It may become a rural land depending on the population. Assuming you say it is an urban land, assuming it is saying an urban land, it means income is taxable. Yes or no? Yes. But when we go forward, when we do another chapter, in that other chapter I'll come and tell you that whenever an college or a university derives any kind of income, that income is fully exempt. The income is fully exempt. So the income may not become exempt because it is agriculture, but it will become exempt because income tax is exempting it for you. Okay. So any kind of schools, colleges, charitable organizations, universities, colleges, everything are fully exempt from tax. Okay. So while you may earn income from that agriculture college, income will become exempt from tax. Income will become exempt from tax. Yes. Let's read. It says any kind of as per section 10, only agricultural income which is earned from a land situated in India is exempt. Please highlight this important part. Any agricultural land from a land situated outside India is fully taxable. Okay, this is the only thing which you have to remember from this chapter. Land situated in India is fully exempt. Land situated outside India is fully taxable. Next, rent received from agricultural land in kind is also exempt. I don't care whether the money is coming in cash or the money is coming in kind. It doesn't matter. Further, in case of sublease, rent received by both tenant and owner is also exempt, provided the subtenant uses the land for agricultural purpose. Provided the subtenant uses land for agricultural purpose. What do you mean by agriculture? Agriculture means tilling of land, sowing of seeds, similar operations, whatever it is. Then income derived from saplings or seedlings which is grown in a nursery would also be deemed to be an agricultural income, whether or not the basic operations is carried out on land. I don't care. I don't care if the land is not having the operations done. If it is happening in a nursery, then also it is exempt. Then also it is exempt. What is an eligible land, Rahul? Eligible land means a land which is situated in rural areas. A land which is situated in rural areas. What do you mean by rural areas? That is what we discussed, the population size. Okay, I will show that rural areas once again to you when we do capital gains. When we do capital gains, right now this is what the provisions are. This is what the provisions are. Last item they are coming and saying what I am going to exempt for you is only agriculture. What I am not going to exempt for you is dairy farming. What I am not going to exempt for you is dairy or poultry farming. So they are coming and saying any kind of income from breeding of livestock, poultry farming, fisheries, dairy farming, anything is not an agriculture income and therefore will become fully taxable. And therefore will become fully taxable. I am not going to exempt a single item for you. I am not going to exempt a single item for you. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, ma.
Can be anywhere.
No, it can be anywhere. Yeah. Like I told you, no, nursery is something which you are creating in your state because you are not able to have a land for doing agricultural operations. So you got a special approval and you created a nursery. Okay. In which case, nursery or area is technically become an agricultural area. Yes. Let's look at the question. It says, Mr. Ankur is an owner of a land situated in Kerala which is used for growing thereon different types of fruits, paddies, vegetables and flowers, which is received from Yahoo Movies Limited. Acha, Ankur is the owner of the land which is situated in Kerala, which is using this land for growing fruits, paddies, vegetable and flowers, has received from a person called Yahoo Movies Limited, Chennai, 5 lakh rupees as rent towards the use of this land for shooting a film. Okay, so there is a person called Ankur who has received money from Yahoo. Yahoo is giving him 5 lakh rupees for shooting film in the land. The amount so received was accounted by him in the books as revenue derived from the lands and has been claimed as an exempt tax under 10(1) and has been claimed as exempt tax under 10(1). He now wants to confirm from you whether the amount which has been treated by him correctly as an agriculture income or is it fully taxable. Yes. So I have a land. I have given this land to someone for rent. I have given this land to someone for rent. The problem is the person has used this land for movie shooting. I received rent from that land. Is it taxable as agriculture income or is it taxable as any other income? It is taxable as any other income. When I told you about the land, I told you it should be revenue derived from a land used for agricultural operations. The agricultural operations part is missed out here. You are doing the land for movie shooting. You're doing the land for movie shooting, which means the land is not deriving agricultural income. The land is deriving tourist income. The income is fully taxable. Yes or no? Yes or no? Let's read. It says, the income received by Ankur from a filmmaker for allowing them to shoot a film in the agricultural land owned by him is not in the nature of agricultural income because it was neither received by him from the sale of agricultural produce nor obtained for carrying out any normal agricultural operations. The amount so paid was only for the purpose of shooting the film. To claim an exemption in respect of agricultural income, the conditions of 2(1)(a)(a) to C have to be first complied with. In the case of B. Nagireddy, which is in Madras High Court, the following judgment of Apex Court of Raja Benoy Kumar Sahas Roy, it was held that the income derived for allowing a shooting of film in the agricultural land should not be treated as agriculture income as it has no nexus to the land except that it was carried out on agricultural land, which means the income is fully taxable. Just to remind you people, if you see a case law in my question bank, you don't have to read it. I told you these are not the case laws which are coming in exam. ICAI has separately notified some significant case laws which in my book I have put it in blue box. There will not be any questions against that in the question bank. Okay, so these are over and above that questions. So you don't need to read these case laws for your exam. This is just for your reference. Even if a question like this comes in exam, you can directly write the story analysis and conclude it off. You don't need to quote the case laws. quote the case laws. To the extent the case laws will come in exam, there will be a separate question. There will be a separate question. That question we will discuss about it. That question we will discuss about it. Yes or no? Yes. Next. Examine with following reasons whether the following receipts are chargeable to tax or not. Yes, first one they are saying rent of 60,000 which is charged from tenants occupying houses constructed on the land which is situated in India and used for agricultural purpose. Agricultural purpose. The tenants working in the nearby industrial area occupy these houses for their own residential purpose. For their own residential purpose. What is happening? I have a land. The land is being used for agricultural operations, but the land is also given to someone for renting. For renting. The other person who is renting this land is actually not doing agriculture on the land. He is working in an industrial sector. He is working in an industrial sector. He is using this land for living alone. He is using this land for living alone. I am deriving rent from this land. I am deriving rent from this land. Is this income taxable? Not taxable. Is it income taxable? Not taxable. Taxable. Why, Rahul? Because again, the person who's paying the rent to you is not doing agriculture. The person is doing industrial operations. Therefore, it is taxable. Yes. As per section 10(1), agriculture income is exempt from tax. The meaning and scope of agriculture income is defined under 2(1)(a). According to the explanation 2 of 2(1)(a), any income derived from any building for the use of the such building for any purpose other than for agriculture shall not be treated as agricultural income. Therefore, the rent of 60,000 which is received from letting out of house constructed on an agricultural land shall not be treated as an agricultural income and therefore will be fully taxable. And therefore will be fully taxable. Yes or no? Yes or no? Next. Income of 75,000 which is derived from Anand nursery from the sale of seedlings which is grown without carrying out the basic operations on land. Okay, I am an Anand nursery. That Anand nursery is growing some seedlings and saplings. That operations have not been done on the land, but I have done 75,000 worth of income. Agriculture, not agriculture. It is agriculture. If it is agriculture, is it taxable? Not taxable. Very good. It is not taxable. It is not taxable. Income tax explicitly clarifies that any kind of income derived from seedlings or saplings which is grown in a nursery will be treated as an agricultural income even if it is not carried out on land. Even if it is not carried out on land. Yes? Yes. Awesome. Now that we have understood what is an agriculture income, my job is to now come and tell you why are we doing it. Why are we doing it? The reason is very simple. Like I told you, what is happening is when you try to do agriculture income, there could be a possibility that you may end up not selling it off in the market, but you may end up doing further processing. Example could be a scenario where you are a person who's having sugarcane. You are a person having sugarcane. Yes. Now you could have sold the sugarcane in the market. You could have sold the sugarcane in the market, but you have a factory. So what you did is you took this sugarcane, you gave it off to your factory. Factory made this sugarcane into sugar. And this sugar was what was sold. Now if you notice, I have sugarcane converted into sugar, sold off in the market. At the end of the day, what has been sold? An agricultural produce is sold or the final product is sold? The final product is sold. But is there any agricultural operations in this? Yes. Which means now the problem which came is I don't know how much of this income is agriculture, how much of this income is business. How much of this income is agriculture, how much of this income is business. The reason I don't know is because I have to tax something. I cannot tax the full number. Because a part of the number is sugarcane. In that case, income tax came and said, we call this income as composite income. What income? Composite income. We call this income as composite income, where you have earned a combined income. In which one part of the income is agriculture, the other part of the income is business. Now the problem is then came is, Rahul, I don't know what to do. Income tax is coming and saying, first of all, list out what are your incomes. What have you sold? You have sold sugarcane. Now sugarcane has happened from business or from agriculture? You have sold sugar. Sugar has happened from business or agriculture? It has happened from business. So I'm going to put it on business side. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two columns. Left column will be called as agriculture. Right column will be called as business. Yes. Now first item which you did is you sold off, which means you earned a revenue. Revenue came from business or agriculture? It came from business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a column in the middle and I'm going to say revenue from sugar. Revenue from sugar. Let's say for example 1 lakh. Let's say for example 1 lakh. Now, do I pay tax on revenue or do I pay tax on income? I pay tax on income. Income means revenue minus allowable expense. Allowable expense. Yes. So then what I'm coming asking you is tell me what are the expenses which you incurred. Tell me what are the expenses which you incurred. You said, sir Rahul, I incurred the first expense of growing sugarcane. I incurred the first expense of growing sugarcane. A growing sugarcane expense is a part of agri business or is a part of factory business? It's a part of agri business. So which means I incurred some expense of growing sugarcane. Yes, I incurred some expense of growing sugarcane. Let's say for example 20,000. Let's say for example 20,000. Then I'm coming and saying, Rahul, I incurred expense for making the sugarcane into sugar. Making the sugarcane into sugar. It is called as further processing cost. Further processing cost. Which was incurred in agri business or business? Was it incurred in the agricultural part or business part? It was incurred in the business part. So I'm going to put here minus FPC. What is FPC? Further processing cost. So I incurred, let's say 10,000 rupees. I incurred 10,000 rupees. Then I also incurred some marketing expenses, Rahul. I incurred some marketing expenses. Now, you did marketing for sugarcane or sugar? Sugar. So marketing expenses was incurred in agri business or business? Business. So I'm going to put here marketing business, marketing expense. Let's say another 2,000. Let's say another 2,000. Yes. These are all the expenses which you incurred. Now the problem which happened is I have to split my income into agriculture income and business income. Yes or no? Yes. Now if you notice, on the right side you know the revenue, you know the expense. On the left side you know your expense, but you don't know your revenue. Income tax is saying do one thing. Assume your agri business is separate, assuming your business is separate. Assume your agri business is separate, assuming your business is separate. When agri business gave the sugarcane to business, technically it gave it for free. Assuming they were different businesses. Would I have given it for free? No, I would have charged some money. What money will I charge, Rahul? I would have charged the normal price which the sugarcane will fetch. Yes or no? Had I sold the sugarcane in the market, I would have fetched some number. That is the price at which I would have sold it to him. Yes or no? Yes. So I am coming and saying, do one thing, Rahul. Assume that you have sold this in the open market. What have you sold in the open market? Sugarcane. So I am assuming that I am selling this sugarcane in the open market. I went to the market. Market is coming and saying that if you want to sell sugarcane to me today, you can earn 30,000 rupees. Which means that will now become my sale value. That will become my sale value. Now, do you have the sale value? Yes. Do you have a cost? Yes. Can you find out your agriculture income? What is your agriculture income? It is 10,000. Yes or no? Now, what did I tell you? I told you do one thing, go and sell this sugarcane in the open market. So the agri business has sold it off in the market. Now the sugar business needs the sugarcane. So what will sugarcane business do? Sugarcane business will buy it from the market. Yes. So I will give it to the market. Sugarcane will go from there. Sugar business will go from there and buy it from the market. When it is buying from the market, he will pay a price of 30 or 20. He will pay a price of 30,000 because I have sold it for 30,000 in the market. He will go and buy it in the market for 30,000. Yes or no? Now that 30,000 has become as raw material cost. Yes. So I will also include that as minus raw material cost. What is the price? 30,000. The price is 30,000. Now look and tell me, do you have all incomes? Yes. Do you have all expenses? Yes. How much is my business income? 58,000. Yes or no? Yes. Now do I have the split of income? Yes. If you notice now what has happened, 1 lakh was my revenue. Take only the red items. Take only the red items. 1 lakh was my revenue. FPC is 10,000. Marketing cost is 2,000. Growing sugar is 20,000. 1 lakh minus 10,000 is 90. Minus 2 is 88. Minus 20 is 78. So my overall profit in the business was 78,000. That's 68 or 78? 68,000. Yes, my overall profit was 68,000 in the red, which means my overall business did 68,000. I have split that 68,000 into 10,000 of agriculture and 58,000 of business. This 10,000 will be taxable or exempt? Exempt. 50,000 will be 58,000 will become taxable. 50,000 will become taxable. In simple words, income tax is coming and saying when you have both the operations happening, one is agricultural operations, one is business operations, do one thing, sell your agricultural produce in the market and ask your business team to buy it from the market. Sell your agricultural produce in the market and ask your business team to buy it in the market. If you plan to sell it in the market, you will get the FMV of the product. Yes or no? You will get the FMV of the product. What is FMV, Rahul? Fair market value. The business will buy it at what price? Business will also buy it at FMV. In simple words, I am coming and saying, assume that you have sold it off in the market and the business has bought it from the market. If you have sold it in the market, that will become your sale value for agricultural business, and for business, for your processing business, it will become your cost. This is how you have to split. Yes or no? This is what is the idea. Any doubts? Check this out. Yes. See the question. See the question. It says, Mr. Amar is growing sugarcane. And is using the same for the purpose of manufacturing sugar in his factory. Now, there is a person who is growing sugarcane and is also using the sugarcane for manufacturing sugar in the factory, which means this person is doing agricultural operations also, processing operations also. 40% of the sugarcane is sold for 12 lakhs. Which means this person is not just giving the whole sugarcane to the factory, he is also selling this to the market. So which means he made 100 kgs. 40 kgs he gave it off in the market for 12 lakhs. Balance 60 kgs, what he did? He gave it to factory. So they are coming and saying 40% of the sugarcane was sold for 12 lakhs and the cost of cultivation of these sugarcanes were 6 lakhs. The cost of cultivation for these sugarcanes were 6 lakhs. The cost of cultivation of the balance sugarcane is given as 15 lakhs. The balance is given as 15 lakhs and the market value of these is given as 25 lakhs, which means had I sold the 60% in the market, I would have got 25. Yes or no? Yes. They are saying after incurring a 1.5 lakhs in the manufacturing process of the balance sugarcane, balance na 60% or 40%? 60%. The sugar was sold for 30 lakhs. You are required to compute Mr. Amar's business income and agricultural income. Yes. Let's do one thing. Let's first put out the facts. And then we will see what we can do. Yes, we are in the chapter called as agricultural income. We are doing question number 3. Yes, question is coming and saying, let's put out the facts. I told you, whenever you want to do the answer easily, you can prepare a split table. Split table is called as agriculture and business. You can prepare a split table. Split table is called as agricultural and business. Yes or no? Yes. Rahul, in my scenario, agriculture is what? Sugarcane. In my scenario, agriculture is sugarcane. Business is sugar. Yes or no? Yes. Looking at the question is coming and saying that Rahul, Amar is growing sugarcane and using the same for the purpose of manufacturing sugar in the factory. 40% of the sugar cane is directly sold for 12 lakhs. 40% of the sugar is directly sold for 12 lakhs. If you are going to sell your sugar directly for 12 lakhs, is there any business operations happening? No, it is directly pure sale. It is directly pure sale. So what I'll do, I'll first put direct sale. I'll first put direct sale. How much is my direct sale? 40%. How much is my direct sale? 40%. Yes or no? Yes. In my direct sale, what is happening? I know my revenue. I know my revenue. What is my revenue, Rahul? Check. What is my revenue? My revenue is 12 lakhs. My revenue is 12 lakhs minus. They're saying the revenue is 12 lakhs and the cost of cultivation for these products was 6 lakhs. So therefore my cost is 6 lakhs. Yes or no? My cost is 6 lakhs. Rahul, my revenue is 12 lakhs, my cost is 6 lakhs. This difference will be called as, what is the difference? This is called as agricultural income. This is called as agricultural income. Why is it called as agricultural income, Rahul? Because it is direct sale. Because it is a direct sale. Yes or no? Yes or no? Next is my further process. How much is the further process? 60%. My further process is 60%. Yes. Now look and tell me what facts do you have? Look and tell me what facts do you have? They are saying that the cost of cultivation of the balanced sugarcane is 15 lakhs. Do you have this fact? Yes. So therefore, my cost I know. My cost I know. What is my cost? 15 lakhs. I know my cost is 15 lakhs. Then they're coming and saying the market value of the same is 25 lakhs. A market value right now, have you earned it, not earned it? Is it actual or notional? Is it actual or notional? It is notional. It is notional, therefore hold. Therefore hold. Come to the right side, it's saying after incurring 1.5 lakhs in the manufacturing process. 1.5 lakhs in the manufacturing process. Left side or right side? Left side or right side? Right side. So what will you say? On the right side, you will come and say minus further processing charge. Minus further processing charge. How much is my further processing charge, people? 1.5 lakhs. Yes, they're saying after incurring 1.5 lakhs as further processing charge, the sugar was sold for 30 lakhs. The sugar was sold for 30 lakhs. Actual or notional? Actual. So this will come on left side, right side? It will come on the right side. What is my right side revenue? 30 lakhs. My right side revenue is 30 lakhs. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now the question is saying that's all. Compute your agriculture income and business income. Now I am not bothered about my direct sale because it has happened. Because it has happened. I am not bothered about my sugarcane sale to sugar. Sugarcane sale to sugar. I told you in income tax, what will you do? You will sell the sugarcane and you will buy the sugarcane. You will sell the sugarcane from agricultural business and buy the sugarcane from factory. Buy the sugarcane from factory. Now I am planning to sell the sugarcane. I am planning to sell the sugarcane. I will sell it at what value? I will sell it at market value. Question has given you the market value, not given the market value. Has given the market value. What is the market value given? 30 lakhs. 25 lakhs. Market value is given as 25 lakhs. So I will say my revenue, which is my FMV, will become 25 lakhs. Will become 25 lakhs. Therefore, my agricultural profit is now 10 lakhs. My agricultural profit is now 10 lakhs. Yes or no? Yes. Now, I told I will sell this off in the market. I told I will sell this off in the market and the factory will buy it from the market. So, if the factory is going to buy it from the market, for factory this is going to be called as raw material cost. Yes or no? Now, what is the raw material cost for the factory? Factory will buy it at what price? It will buy it at the same price which I sold. Yes, because I sold it in the market, he went and bought it from the factory. So, if I sold it in the market for 25, he will buy it in the factory for 25. So he will also buy it for 25. Yes or no? Yes or no? Which means what is my business income now? 3,50,000. Yes or no? Yes. Which means Rahul, overall my agriculture income is 10 lakhs plus 6 lakhs, which means 16 lakhs. 10 lakhs plus 6 lakhs, 16 lakhs. And my business income is 3,50,000. My business income is 3,50,000. My business income is 3,50,000. Yes or no? Yes or no? Rahul, how to verify this in exam if it is right or not? In simple words, ignore all the notional items. Ignore all the notional items and find out what my actual profit is. Find out what my actual profit is. In the top items, tell me which one actual happened. Which one of these items actually happened? Did revenue of 12 lakhs actually come? Not come. It came actually. Did cost of 6 lakhs actually got incurred? Not got incurred. Actually got incurred. Did revenue of 30 lakhs actually come? Not come. It actually came. FPC actually happened? Not happened. Actually happened. Cost of 15 lakhs actually happened? Not happened. Actually happened. And the revenue of FMB and their RM cost of 25 lakhs, both actually happened and notionally happened. Notionally happened. So ignore those. Ignore those. Find out the numbers. It will become 30 plus 20, 42. 30 plus 20, 42. Minus 6 will become 36. Minus 1 lakh 50 will become 34 lakh 50,000. 34 lakh 50,000. And minus 15 will become 19 lakh 50,000. Here correct vanducha? Yes. Here the total is also 19 lakh 50,000. Which means whatever is your business profit, I have split the whole business profit into agriculture and business. 19 lakh 50,000 correct vanduchna, answer is right. If 19 lakh correct vanduchna, answer is right. Which means whatever is the overall profit of the business should be split properly into agriculture and business. If the numbers are tallying, that means the answer is right. Numbers are tallying, the answer is right. Yes or no? Yes, this is what your question number 3 is. Which one, ma?
The notional amount.
In the question, notice, no, assume you are running the factory. Okay, if you are running the factory, you have decided that you want to give your sugarcane to your own factory. Yes. Now, when you are going to give your own sugarcane to your own factory, do you think you are actually selling it or you are just transferring it? You are just transferring it. So, which means technically, will there be a sale in that? So, which means the 25 lakhs which you see here, is it an actual or a notional? That is what the notion.
Still, we consider it as an income.
Only for income tax purpose, because I am trying to split how much is my agriculture and how much is my business. Okay, if I don't take this number, then I don't know how much is my agriculture and how much is my business. I may end up taxing everything as agriculture, or I may end up taxing everything as business, or I may end up exempting everything as agriculture. So I am coming and trying to make a split around both. Okay, for doing the split, what I am saying is, in simple words, what you do is you forget that there is a factory, you forget that there is a business. The land will go and the agricultural team will go and directly sell it off in the market, and the factory team will go and buy it from the same market. Yes. So if the agricultural team is going to sell it in the market, they will sell it for 25. If the factory team is going to buy it from the market, they'll buy it for 25. This would help you split your income into agricultural and business. Yeah. Perfect. Yes. Can we go forward? Yes. What we discussed right now is what is there in note number 2. What we discussed right now is what is there in note number 2. Yes, ignoring note number 2, I'm going top. Basically, what happened is, income tax came and said, yes, Rahul, I understand. Yes, Rahul, I understand. There are some operations which are happening. You are trying to do operations of an agriculture, give it to your factory, and factory is making the ultimate sale. There is a possibility that you will be able to split into agriculture and business. So I am letting you do it. But what happened is, Rahul, there are certain products. These products, unfortunately, you will not be able to sell directly in the market. People may not be very interested to buy it. In that case, will you be able to find out the fair market value? No. If you will not be able to find out the fair market value, do you think you will be able to split it off? No, you will not be able to split it off. In which case, income tax stood up. And came and said, Rahul, there are three products. Where I see this problem predominantly coming. There are three products which I see this problem predominantly coming. People may not be able to split into agriculture and business. People may not be able to split into agriculture and business. Let me not disturb them. Let me not disturb them. I don't want them to find out the FMV. I will tell you how to split. I will tell you how to split. So income tax notionally found out a split. Income tax notionally found out a split where they came and said, forget all this 25 lakhs nonsense and all which you did. Okay. Find out the overall profit of the business. Find out the overall profit of the business. In that overall profit of the business, I will tell you a percentage. That percentage will become agriculture. Balance percentage will become business. Balance percentage will become business. What has income tax notified? Income tax says that if you are planning to manufacture rubber, hey, will you for manufacturing rubber, you need to grow something. You need to grow something. What is that growing something? That growing something is called as latex. What is it called as? Latex. So what you have done is you have grown latex and you have given it to your rubber factory. You have given it to your rubber factory. Rubber factory has made the rubber and sold it off. Rubber factory has made rubber factory has made the rubber and sold it off. Now, latex is normally saleable in the market or not? It is not normally saleable. It is not normally saleable. So income tax came and said, no problem, boss. You do one thing, you find out the overall profit of the business. You find out the overall profit of the business. In that overall profit, 65% will become agriculture. What will happen? 65% will become agriculture, 35% will become PGBP. 65% will become agriculture, 35% will become PGBP, which means take the overall profit, do revenue minus cost, assuming the number comes as 100. Assuming the number comes as 100, income tax says 65, it will become exempt, 35 will become taxable. Is there a basis, Rahul? There is no basis. There is no basis. This is the numbers. This is the numbers. What for? Rubber. What is it for? Rubber. Then they are coming and saying, no, Rahul, you are not in rubber, you are in coffee. You are in coffee. Income tax comes and says, when it comes to coffee, I have a two split. I have a two split. Tell me what are you doing with the coffee seeds? Tell me what are you doing with the coffee seeds? If you are going to grow and cure the coffee seeds, there is major agricultural operations happening and therefore it is 75 for agriculture and 25 for PGBP. How much is it? 75 for agriculture, 25 for PGBP. No, Rahul, I am actually growing it, I am curing it, I am also roasting it and I am also grounding it. I am growing it, curing it, roasting it and grounding it. Now tell me, from the earlier one, have you done more business operations or have you done more agricultural operations? You have done more business operations. Roasting and grounding will happen in the business. So therefore, agriculture has come down or agriculture has increased? Agriculture has come down. Therefore, income tax came and said, boss, the numbers are 60 and 40. The numbers are 60 and 40. Rahul, how do you remember this in exam? Simple. If you see two words, it is 25 and 75. If you see two words, it is 25 and 75. If you see four words, it is 40 and 60. If you see four words, it is 40 and 60. Yes, you don't have to remember the names and all. Grow, cure, roasting and all is not important. You see two words, it is 25 and 75. If you see four words, it is 40 and 60. That's all. Okay. Last, Rahul, I am in the manufacturing of tea. I am in the manufacturing of tea. They said, Rahul, it is 40 and 60. It is 40 and 60. This is what income tax says. This is what income tax says. Yes. Rahul, do I have to remember the percentage for exam? Yes, you will have to remember the percentage for exam. You will not be given an option. You will not be given an option. For these three things, you have to mandatorily remember the percentages. You have to mandatorily remember the percentages. What are the percentages, Rahul? If you are doing rubber, it is 35, 65. If you are doing coffee, two words, 25, 75. Four words, 40, 60. Rahul, you are doing tea, 40, 60. Rahul, what is 40? What is 60? The higher will always be agriculture. The higher will always be agriculture, which means 40 is business, 60 is agriculture. Yes, I am coming and saying the major operations will be agriculture, so major should be exempt. Major should be exempt. So 35, 65, which is agriculture? 65 is agriculture. 65 is agriculture. Yes or no? Yes. Look at the example. Look at the example. I am saying Mr. Nilesh is in the process of manufacturing latex from rubber plants, which is grown in India. These are then sold in the market for 36 lakhs. These are then sold in the market for 36 lakhs. The cost of growing rubber plants are given to you as 16 lakhs and that of manufacturing latex is given as 12 lakhs. Manufacturing latex is given as 12 lakhs. So what is happening is I am having a rubber plant. I am having a rubber plant. This rubber plant, I am incurring a cost of 16 lakhs. I am incurring a cost of 16 lakhs. Then I am giving this rubber plant to my latex industry. To my latex industry. In that latex industry, they are incurring 12 lakhs. They are incurring 12 lakhs. After everything gets over, they are selling it for 36. After everything is over, they are selling it for 36. At any point of time, do you see the market value? Have they given you what is the market value? No, they have not even given you what is the market value, which means do you know at what price the rubber would have normally been sold? No. What will you do in this case? You will find out the overall profit of the business. Find out the overall profit of the business. My sale is 36 lakhs. My cost is 12 lakhs plus 16 lakhs. Therefore, 28 lakhs, which means my profit is 8 lakhs. My profit is 8 lakhs. Income tax comes and says that when you are into rubber industry, it is very good. It is 35 and 65. Rahul, how much is 35? Now, what is 35? Very good. Business is 35. 65 is agriculture. Get me the breakup. How much? 2.8 lakhs. 5.2 lakhs. Rahul, 2.8 lakhs taxable, exempt. 2.8 lakhs will become taxable. 5.2 lakhs will become, very good. 5.2 will become exempt. Clear? Yes, this is what the question says. This is what the question says. Any doubts? Can we go forward? Yes, next. Mr. Akash is a resident Indian, is earning an income of 22 lakhs from the sale of rubber manufactured from latex obtained from rubber plants grown by him. What has he done? He has earned an income of 22 lakhs from the sale of rubber. He has earned 22 lakhs from the sale of rubber and 30 lakhs from the sale of rubber manufactured from the latex obtained from rubber plants grown by him. Yes. So 22 lakhs he earned from sale of rubber manufactured from latex obtained from rubber plants grown by him in India, and 30 lakhs from the sale of rubber manufactured from latex and grown by him in Malaysia. Yes. So he has two rubber plants. One plant is in India, one plant is in Malaysia. The Indian plant has given him 22 lakhs. The Malaysia plant has given him 30 lakhs. What is the income which is going to be taxable as business income, assuming he has no other business? Now, first of all, tell me, he has two operations. One operation is Malaysia, one operation is India. A Malaysia operation taxable or exempt? Fully taxable, yes or no? Because I said agriculture income only from India is exempt. So therefore, Malaysia operations I will fully tax it off. What is our income from Malaysia operations? 30 lakhs. Can I exempt something off? Which means everything is fully taxable. Therefore, taxable amount will become 30 lakhs. Yes. Coming to the Indian operations, you earned 22 lakhs. This is what? This is rubber. In rubber it is 35, 65. Which is 35? Taxable 35 or exempt is 35? Taxable is 35. So into 35%. How much? 7.7 lakhs. So therefore my total business income is my total business income is 37.7 lakhs. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, simple, straightforward answers. Can we go forward? Yes, next. Mr. Ram is a resident Indian, earning an income of 15 lakhs from the sale of coffee grown and cured in India. Coffee grown and cured in India. Look at it once again. Mr. Ram is a resident Indian, earning an income of 15 lakhs from coffee grown and cured in India. Do you see 2 words or do you see 4 words? You see 2 words or 4 words? Where is the 4 words? I see grown and cured only. Where is the other 2 words? 2 words. Which means it is, if it is 2 words, it is, for 2 words, it is 25 and 75. If it is 4 words, it is, very good, 40 and 60. Yes. Now what has happened is, Mr. Ram has earned 15 lakhs from sale of coffee grown and cured in India. Which means out of that 15 lakhs, how much will be taxable for me? 25% will become taxable for me, which means 1 by 4, 3.75 lakhs will become taxable for me. Clear till here? Yes. His friend is Mr. Sham, a resident Indian, earning an income of 25 lakhs from sale of coffee grown, cured, roasted and grounded. 2 words, 4 words? 4 words. How much has this person earned? 25 lakhs. How much is taxable for him? 40% is taxable. Number will become 10 lakhs. Rahul, can I add 10 lakhs and 3.75 lakhs? Can I add 10 lakhs and 3.75 lakhs? No, why? Different people, different taxes, so you will not tax, you will not add both of the numbers. Yes, the question is saying what would be the business income chargeable to tax in the hands of Ram? In the hands of Ram it will be 3.75 lakhs. In the hands of Sham it will be 10 lakhs. In the hands of Sham it will be 10 lakhs. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Next. Mr. Vivitha is a resident and an ordinary resident in India and is deriving the following incomes. From the operations which she has. You are requested to compute the business income and agriculture income of Vivitha. Yes. So what we are going to do is we are going to prepare a table. What question is this? Question number 7. We are looking at question number 7. This is computation of what? What is the question asking you to do? They want you to find the business income and agriculture income. So computation of income of yaru? Of Vivitha. For assessment year 2024-25. What do you need, Rahul? You need business income, you need agriculture income. So you need 2 columns. Yes, now these 2 columns will also have a percentage. So you need 2 more columns. So 4 columns along with the particulars. So how many columns do you need? You need particulars, then 1 column called as business income, 1 column called as agriculture income. In that business income, you will have to put 2 things. One will be the percentage, one will be the amount. Here also it will be percentage and amount. Yes or no? Yes. Prepare your columns. Shall we? Yes. Okay, look at the questions and tell me what is the percentages. Okay, question is saying income from sale of centrifuge latex processed from rubber plants grown in Darjeeling. You have some rubber plants. How much is the income for you? 3 lakhs. How will you split? You will split it in 35 and 65. Which is 35, Rahul? Business is 35 or agri is 35? Business is 35. So therefore 35% for business, 65% for agri. 35% for business and 65% for agri. Number. What is 1,05,000? Okay, business is 1,05,000, which means agriculture will become 1,95,000. Agri will become 1,95,000. Yes, next. Income from sale of coffee grown and cured in Yerkad, Tamil Nadu. 2 words, 4 words? 2 words. Therefore, 25 and 75. 25 is business, 75 is agri. Number is 1 lakh. So therefore, directly 25,000 and 75,000. Purida. Next. Income from sale of coffee grown, cured, roasted and grounded. 2 words, 4 words? 4 words. It will become split of 40 and 60. What is the number? 2,50,000. 2,50,000 into 40 will give you 1 lakh. Yes or no? 2,50,000 into 40 will give you 1 lakh. Balance will become 1,50,000. Balance will become 1,50,000. Then sale consideration was received at Chennai. Acha, sorry, okay. Hey, one second. It says income from coffee sale grown, cured, roasted and grounded in Colombo. Sale consideration was received in Chennai. First of all, can you split this 40 and 60, Rahul? Can you split this 40 and 60, Rahul? No. Why, Rahul? Because Colombo is in Sri Lanka. Which means full agriculture income is taxable in India. Whole of the agriculture income is taxable in India, which means 60 and 40 cannot be done. 60 and 40 cannot be done. The whole of the income will become taxable in India. The whole of the income will become taxable in India. Yes or no? Yes or no? Next. They are saying income from sale of tea grown and manufactured in Shimla. Grown and manufactured in Shimla. Percentages 40 and 60. 40 and 60. 4 lakh into 40 will give you 1 lakh 60,000. 60 will give you 2 lakh 40,000. Question number E. Income from saplings and seedlings grown in a nursery at Cochin. Basic operations were not carried out by her on land. 80,000. Business or agriculture or both? It is purely agriculture. It is purely agriculture. So business will become 0. Agriculture will become 100. Number is 80,000. Number is 80,000. Is there anything else in the question? No. You can total it off. Five lakh 40 for business. 5 lakh 40 for business. 5 lakh 90,000 for agriculture. 5 lakh 40 for business and 5 lakh 90 for agriculture. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, this is a full-fledged question for you to understand your percentages properly. Careful about this important question from exam. Okay? Yes. Yes. Any doubts? Can we go forward? Go forward? Yes, perfect. Okay. Now, in this chapter, what we have completed is we have completed the definition of agriculture income. We have completed how to find out an agriculture income. We have also split our income into business and agriculture. Now, the last thing which is pending, which may not be relevant from exam perspective for you, now that you have come to finals, but since it was there in inter also, let me just clarify to you. We have this concept called as partial integration. What do you mean by partial integration, Rahul? Income tax is basically coming and saying that, Rahul, if you have an agriculture income, technically your income is not exempt. Technically your income is partially integrated. What do you mean by this, Rahul? Basically understand, today my business income is 4 lakhs. My agriculture income is 6 lakhs. How much is my agriculture income? 6 lakhs. My total income is 10 lakhs. Now, when my total income is 10 lakhs, ideally speaking, 10 lakhs is my income, so income tax wanted tax on 10 lakhs. But the problem is, state came and said, I want tax on 6 lakhs. So income tax said, okay, you keep it. But understand, at the end of the day, 10 lakhs was your income. So you should have paid tax on 10 lakhs. Now the problem what has happened is that the moment you said agriculture income is exempt, business income became 4 lakhs. So therefore total income also became 4 lakhs. Yes or no? Now when your total income is 4 lakhs, your tax will become 0. Why, Rahul, tax will become 0? Because you will get rebate. Yes or no? But ideally speaking, did the person earn more money? Is the person poor? No, the person is not poor. The person is actually earning 10 lakhs. But because of the agriculture income becoming exempt from tax, this person is ending up paying 0 tax on normal income also. Which is why income tax came and said, boss, I am not happy with this concept of exemption. I want something else. I call it as partial integration. What do I call it as? I call this as partial integration. Now, what does a partial integration mean is that income tax is coming and telling, do one thing for me. Tell me what your income slab is. It starts from 0. I told you my income is how much? My income is 10 lakhs. My income is 10 lakhs. So what will happen? At every stage you will have a tax rate. At every stage you will have a tax rate. First tax rate stage will be at 2 lakh 50,000. Yes or no? Till here tax is 0. Yes, this income tax is saying put under other income. Put your other income. Other income means no other than agriculture income. Other than agriculture income. Then after 2 lakhs, after 2.5 lakhs, first priority give to agriculture income. First priority give to agriculture income. How much is my agriculture income? 6 lakhs. So therefore 2.5 lakhs to 6 lakhs will become 8.5. Yes. So which means the next slab it will stop at 5 lakhs. The next slab it will stop at 5 lakhs. In this slab the rate is 5%. This is I want to be considered as agri income. This is what I want to consider as agri income. Balance, how much is agri income left, ma? You had 6 lakhs, 2.5 you utilized, balance is 3.5. So what will happen? Up to 8.5 lakhs. Up to 8.5 lakhs, rate of tax will be 20%. This also I will consider agri income. This also I will consider agri income. Yes or no? Yes. How much is the balance left? You have exhausted your agri. In your other income, you have exhausted 2.5. Your total was 4, which means left off is 1.5. Yes or no? Left off is 1.5. This 1.5 will also be taxable for 20%. For this also they said put it as other income. For this they said put it as other income. Other income. In simple words, what they are coming and saying is, Rahul, when you have an income which has agriculture also, agriculture income will be given first priority from your taxable slab. Micha income you can split between non-taxable and the future taxable. Why am I doing this, Rahul? It's because, understand, if I had taken the agriculture income as 0, my overall income would have been 4 lakhs. Yes, which means 2.5 would have gone to my slab. 2.5 would have gone to my slab. 1.5 would have gone to 5%. 1.5 would have gone to 5%. There I would have paid tax of 5% on that 1.5. Now I am ending up paying tax of 20% on 1.5. Why am I paying more than that? Because in the middle I gave priority to agricultural income. In which means in simple words, what they are coming and saying is, Rahul, compute the tax for the whole 10 lakhs. And remove the tax which is there on agriculture income. The tax on agriculture income will be from 2.5 to 8.5. Which means for 2.5 lakhs it will be 5%. For 3.5 lakhs it will be 20%. Remove that part off. This is called as partial integration, where I will ensure that the other income which you have moves to a higher slab, so that you end up paying more tax to the government. How do you do this, Rahul? I told step number 1, find the tax for the whole income. In my example it is 10 lakhs. So what is 10 lakhs, Rahul? 4 lakhs of business income, 6 lakhs of agriculture income. 4 lakhs of business income and 6 lakhs of agriculture income. I am saying find out the tax on whole income. Step number 2, I am saying now you have the tax for the whole 10 lakhs. I don't want to pay tax on the agri part. Is it possible for me to say compute tax on 2.5 to 8.5? No. It is easy for me to say compute tax on 8.5. Why, Rahul, 8.5? Because anyway 2.5 is 0. The tax on the 2.5 will show 0. Yes or no? So I am saying compute tax on agricultural income plus my basic exemption limit. Compute tax on my agricultural income plus my basic exemption limit. Yes or no? Hey, what is my basic exemption limit? 2.5. What is my agricultural income? 6. Total becomes 8.5. So I am saying compute tax till the whole 8.5. So I am saying step number 1, compute tax till 10 lakhs. Step number 2, I am saying compute tax till 8.5 lakhs. If you remove the whole thing, if you remove the 8.5 lakhs from the 10 lakhs, what will be pending for you? The amount which will be pending is this number. Indirectly you would have come and said 1.5 lakhs ka 20%. So which means in simple words, step number 3 is tax as per step 1 minus tax as per step 2. Tax as per step 1 minus tax as per step 2. Tax as per step 1 minus tax as per step 2. In simple words, what am I saying? I am saying, Rahul, first compute tax for the whole income, then compute tax on the agriculture income plus basic exemption limit, arrive at the differential tax. That is what the tax I want from you. That is what the tax I want from you. This is called as partial integration. This is called as partial integration. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, yes. Now, I told you for your finals, individual may not be tested. What you will be tested? Company. Yes. So let's assume you're a company. Let's assume you're a company. Same logic. 4 lakhs is your business income. 6 lakhs is your agricultural income. 6 lakhs is your agricultural income. What I told you, first basic exemption limit variko priority will be given to other income. Then priority will be given to agricultural income. Then balance will be taken. Then balance will be taken. Question to you: companies ku basic exemption limit irka illaya? Does company have basic exemption limit? No. Which means there is no basic exemption limit. Which means first priority will always directly be given to agri income. Yes. So for the first 0 to, for company, do you have a slab model? For company, do you have a slab model? No. Which means every income is 25 or 22 or 30 or 15. So I am saying for 0 to 6 lakhs, for 0 to 6 lakhs, this will be called as 30%. It will be agri income. 30, 22, whatever it is. Yes. Then balance number is 4 lakhs. Balance number is 4 lakhs, which means this will become 10 lakhs. This will also be 30%. This will be other income. Yes or no? Now I am telling what you have to do, Rahul. I want tax only on the 6 lakhs to 10 lakhs part. I want tax only on the 6 lakhs to 10 lakhs part. Tell me, no? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Even if I had ignored this and I would have put 0 to 4 lakhs, I would have put 0 to 4 lakhs, it would have still been 30% only. It would have still been 30% only, which means even though you ask for tax, even though you ask tax from here, had you put tax from here also, it would have been the same number. Yes or no? Because tax rate has never changed. Tax rate has never changed. In this scenario, do you think doing partial integration makes sense, or do you think exempting agriculture income makes sense? Exempting agriculture makes sense. In simple words, income tax comes and says partial integration will only apply to assessees. Will only apply to assessees having slab rate model. Will only apply to assessees having slab rate model. If you are an assessee not having a slab rate model but a fixed income tax rate, then there is no point of me doing partial integration, because no matter what I try, number will be the same. No matter what I try, number will be the same. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is what first rule. This is what first rule. Any doubts? No? No? Yes, that is why I told you for your syllabus, it may not be very relevant. It may not be very relevant because for your syllabus, you will only have companies or firms. You'll have only companies or firms. Both of them have a single rate. Both of them have a single rate. So there is no point of me doing partial integration for those people. Yes or no? Yes. So therefore, partial integration will not apply for companies and firms. It will only apply for slab rate people. It will only apply for slab rate people. Yes or no? Yes or no? Second rule they are coming and second rule they are coming and saying, if you want to apply partial integration for slab rate people also, government is expecting something from you. Government is expecting something from you. Imagine, no, current year my agriculture income is only 200 rupees. Current year my agriculture income is only 200 rupees and my business income is showing 1 crore. My business income is showing 1 crore. Do you think the 200 rupees will make an impact for me? Do you think the 200 rupees will make an impact for me? At best, how much will you earn? 60 rupees you will earn. At best, 60 rupees plus some surcharge plus some cess and all you will earn. Yes, does that number make so much significance? No. Income tax came and said, Rahul, I don't want every single person doing this partial integration. Waste of time and efforts. Waste of time and efforts. Do this partial integration only if your agricultural income goes beyond 5,000. If your agriculture income goes beyond 5,000. If the agriculture income is less than 5,000, you can ignore partial integration for slab rate people also. You can come and say it is exempt. You can come and say it is exempt. Only if the agriculture income goes beyond 5,000, I will come and say you have to do partial integration. You have to do partial integration. Yes, ma. Pratanya, any doubts?
Partial integration, I don't get the logic. The first part you were telling 0 to 2.5 other income.
Yeah, what we'll do now, we'll do a sum around it, Tanya. Once I do the sum now, I'll probably explain it to you better that time. Okay, I'm just trying to give you the logics right now. Okay, so partial integration, two things are happening. One, I'm saying is that it should be for a slab rate person. Second, I'm saying that it should be for a person who's having income of agriculture at least more than 5,000, at least more than 5,000. Yes or no? Yes. Let's do one thing. Let's do one sum and see how it makes sense. Let's do one sum and make sense. The question is here. The question is here. It says, if the total income other than agriculture income of Mr. Scott is given as 5,30,000, how much? 5,30,000. I am saying that my normal income is 5,30,000. My normal income is 5,30,000. You are required to compute the tax if he is 25 years old. If he is 25 years old and has earned a net agriculture income of 3,10,000. So I am now informed that my agriculture income is 3,10,000. My agriculture income is 3,10,000. Ignore the provisions of 115 BSc. Ignore the provisions of 115 BSc. They want to do it as per normal rates. They want to do it as per normal rates. Now, first of all, tell me the total. What is the total? It is 8,40,000. Yes or no? So, which means current year actually the person earned 8,40,000. Current year actually the person earned 8,40,000, but income tax this is exempt. So, therefore, his total income is actually only 5,30,000. Yes or no? Total income is actually 5,30,000. Now, let's do one thing. Let's first compute tax on 5,30,000. Let's first compute tax on 5,30,000. How will you compute, ma? For the first 2.5 lakhs, it will become 0. Then 2.5 to 5 lakhs, it will become at the rate of 5%. Number is 12,500. Balance is 30,000 at the rate of 20%. Number is 6,000. Total becomes 18,500. Do you have a rebate? Do you have a rebate? No, you don't have a rebate because it is more than 5 lakhs. Add cess number. $18,500 into 4%, ma. $740. 740. Total becomes 19,240. Yes, this is what my actual tax would have been. This is what my actual tax would have been. Any doubts? No. Now let's do one thing. Let's follow the steps. Let's follow the steps. Step number 1 was finding tax on 8,40,000. Finding tax on 8,40,000. Yes or no? How will you do it? For the first 2.5 lakhs, it is 0. For the first 2.5 lakhs, it is 0. Next to 2.5 lakhs, it is 12,500. Balance is 3.4 lakhs at the rate of 20%. Number 68,000. 68,000. Yes, total. Total is 80,500. 80,500. Are you rich, poor, middle class? 8,40,000. You're rich, poor, or middle class? You are middle class. So therefore, add cess number. 3,220. Total 83,720. 83,720. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is step number 1. This is step number 1. What is step number 2, Rahul? Step number 2 is computing tax on agriculture income plus basic exemption limit. What is my agriculture income? 3,10,000. What is my basic exemption limit? 2.5 lakhs. So 3,10,000 plus 2.5 will give me 5,60,000. Yes or no? Yes. Now what I'm going to do, I'm saying for the first 2.5 lakhs, it is 0. For the next 2.5 lakhs, it is 12,500. For the balance 60,000 at the rate of 20%, number is 12,000. Total becomes 24,500. Add health and education cess at the rate of 4%, number 980. Total becomes Okay. 480. Yes or no? Yes. What is step number 3, Rahul? Step number 3 is step 1 minus step 2. So 83 minus 25. 83 minus 25 number 58,240. Yes. Notice, no? Same person, same total income. How much was the total income? 5,30,000. For the same total income, had I done normal, I would have paid only 19,000. Had I done normal, I would have paid only 19,000. But now after I'm doing partial integration, I'm paying 58,000. I'm paying 58,000. Why am I paying 58,000, Rahul? Think about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my chart. I'm going to prepare my scale. Yes, my scale will say 0 to first slab is 2.5. First slab is 2.5 lakhs. In this 2.5 lakhs, I'm going to park other income, agri income. Other income. I'm going to park other income. So I'm parking 2.5 lakhs of other income. Yes. How much was my other income, Rahul, overall? 5,30,000. In that 5,30,000, 2.5 I have parked off. 2.5. Yes or no? Yes. Next, I'm going to park everything. First priority, agriculture. How much is my agriculture income? 3,10,000. Yes. What is my next slab, Rahul? My next slab is 5 lakhs. So which means this 2.5 lakhs I'm going to park agri income. Yes or no? Yes. Leaving me with 60,000 of agri. So I'm going to say 5.6 lakhs. It will become 60,000. Again it is agri. Yes or no? Yes. Now I have exhausted my agri. I'm left off with other income. In that other income, I had 5,30,000 of other income. I have utilized 2.5 lakhs of other income. Mitchell left income is 2.3 lakhs. This 2.3 lakhs will end up giving me 8.4. 8.4. 2.3 varum. 2.8. 2.8 could okay, correct. 2.8. 2.8 lakhs. Yes or no? This 2.8 lakhs is going to be my other income. Yes. Now this is my scale. In this scale, tell me which one is taxable, which one is not taxable. 0 to 2.5. Taxable, not taxable. It is taxable, but the basic exemption is there. So therefore 0. Yes. Agri income, taxable, not taxable. Not taxable. So therefore 0. Agri income, taxable, not taxable. Not taxable. Mitcha income is taxable. Now this 2.8 is falling between what slab? It is falling within the slab of 5 to 10. Yes or no? So which means this 2.8 lakhs will be taxable at the rate of 20%. Number is 56,000. Yes or no? Yes. On this 56,000, this is my final tax. So therefore I have to add health and education cess at the rate of 4%. Number is 2,240. Total is 58,240. Where did I see this number earlier, Rahul? Is this the same number? Yes. Basically, income tax is coming and saying, dear Rahul, I do understand agriculture income is exempt from income tax. But at the end of the day, you did earn that income. You earning that income has increased your slab. So I do want the tax on that increase the slab only. Don't come and say me that the income is exempt, therefore I'll pay lower tax. No. At the end of the day, you have earned that income. You were liable for the 5 to 10 lakh slab. So I want tax on that 5 to 10 lakh slab only. I will not let you go. I want that tax. Yes or no? Yes. How to do that, Rahul? They're saying for the first basic exemption limit, allocate other income, then start with agri income, and then go to other incomes. This is what the process is. Yes. If you understand the scale model, then great. If you don't understand the scale model, you can do the step model. Step number 1 is compute tax on all incomes. Step number 2 is compute tax on agri income plus basic exemption limit. Step number 3 is 1 minus 2. Please understand, step 3 you have to do 1 minus 2 of all tax, which means agriculture income Puerto Rico. Step 1 minus step 2 is after doing cess. Don't do cess after step 3. Cess will happen before step 3. So what rebate you want to give, what surcharge you want to give, fully complete that. Final answer ku difference panano. Assume that two different persons are there, compute the full tax, then do a difference. full tax and then do a difference. Litania, now do you understand? Yes. All clear? Do you want me to explain it once again? The answer will not significantly change. That is why I have not done it. But technically, it is better to do it. I'll tell you why. Assuming that this person was having a surcharge, cess would have come including that surcharge. Yes or no? So cess would have come including the surcharge. If you do cess later on, what will happen is you will give cess only on the difference number. But if you do it in step 1, what will happen? Cess will come on the increase the surcharge. Step 2 will also have cess on increase the surcharge. That will always be a better answer. It is recommended that you do it after cess. In my book, I did not do it because in my book, cess, surcharge and all did not come. Okay. In my book, the answer will not change. But the answer will change in case you have a surcharge scenario. So it is always better to do it after cess. In case it is not there in the book, please note it down. Yes. We'll do one more question on this and then we'll move to the next chapter. Look at the question. It says, Mr. X is a resident and has provided you the following particulars of his income for the previous year 23-24. Okay. They say income from salary which is computed for him is 4 lakhs. Income from house property which is computed for him is 3,80,000. Agriculture income which is earned from a land in Jaipur is 4,50,000. Expenses which has incurred for earning the agriculture income is 1,60,000. Yes, step number 1, always first to find out how much is my other income, how much is my agri income. Total my other income. 4 lakh plus 3,80,000 will give you 7,80,000. Yes or no? Will give you 7,80,000. Next, agri income is 4,50,000 minus 1,60,000. 4,50,000 minus 1,60,000. 2,90,000. Yes. What is my total income, Rahul? My total income is only 7,80,000. Yes or no? My total income is only 7,80,000. This is my agricultural income. The question is saying you're asking you to compute the tax liability assuming his age is 40 years and 75 years. In question, have they told you which regime to choose for? No. Which means you need to do both. Or option number 2, you can come and say, Rahul, I know that my new regime will show lower rate. My default regime will show lower rate, so I am directly doing default regime. How to decide, Rahul? Marks will decide. If there is 4-mark question, you have to do both. If it is a 2-mark question, you will do only one. In this, I am a little lazy, so I am only going to do one regime. Which regime do you want? Default or alternator? Let's do default. Okay, so we're going to do default regime. Yes. So in my default regime, I'm going to put out the facts right now. My facts are, my total income is 7,80,000. My total income is 7,80,000. My agricultural income is 2,90,000. What is step number 1, Rahul? Find out the tax on the overall total. This overall. $10,70,000. Yes. So step number 1, find out the tax on 10,70,000. Hey, we are in which regime? We are in default regime. So in default regime, what will happen? You have to do up to 3 lakhs. Number is 0. Then 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs at the rate of number is 15,000. Then 6 lakhs to 9 lakhs at what rate? 10%. Therefore, it is 30,000. Then 9 lakhs to 10,70,000. 9,70,000 at what rate? It will be at 15%. So 1,70,000 at 15% rate number. 1,70,000 into 15%. Sorry, 25,500. 25,500. This is what my total basic tax will be. Number 70,500. 70,500. Are you rich, poor, middle class? I am rich, poor, or middle class? I am middle class. 10 lakhs is middle class category. So therefore it will become add what? Health and education cess at the rate of 4%. 2820. Therefore it will become 73,120. No. 70? 320. This is my step number 1. Yes. Next is step number 2. Compute tax on agri income plus, very good, agri income plus basic exemption limit. Hey Rahul, my basic exemption limit is 3 lakhs. My basic exemption limit is 3 lakhs. So therefore it is tax on 5,90,000. Which means again up to 3 lakhs it will become 0. Then 3 lakhs to 5,90,000 will be at the rate of 5%. So therefore it is 2,90,000 into 5%. It is 2,90,000 into 5%. Number will come as 14,500. So therefore my basic tax will become 14,500. My basic tax will come as 14,500. Add health and education cess at the rate of 4%. Number 580. 580. Therefore it will become 15,080. 15,080. Yes or no? Yes. What is step number 3, Rahul? Step 3 is step 1 minus step 2. So 73,320 minus 15,080. $68,240. 58. 58,240. This is what your final tax payable will be. This is what your final tax payable will be. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, Ellie, all clear? All clear. Any doubts? Any doubts? No. Shall we go forward? Yes. Two rules I want to keep in mind. Want you to keep in mind. It's not there in the book. It's logical. Therefore, I want you to keep in mind. Okay. Rule number one. Partial integration only makes sense if your total income is more than the basic exemption limit. What happens? Partial integration only makes sense if your total income is more than the basic exemption limit. Rahul, why are you telling me this? Understand. This is my scale. Yes, I am coming and saying that Rahul, current year my total income itself is only 2 lakh rupees. How much is my total income? 2 lakh rupees. So I am coming and saying, Rahul, whenever you do the basic exemption limit, first priority should be given to my other income. Now, my other income lab basic exemption limit is up to 2.5 lakhs. Yes, but my other income is only 2 lakhs. Yes or no? My other income is only 2 lakhs. If my other income is already only 2 lakhs, this gap is there in the middle. Yes or no? This gap, what will I put? Agricultural income. This gap I'll put agricultural income. Then balance whatever agricultural income, that also I'll put here. Yes or no? Yes. Now tell me, this is all that is your income. This is all that is your income. Other income, this is what your income is. Your other income is only this much. In the 2 lakhs category. Your other income is only that 2 lakhs category. Will you have a tax? Will you have a tax? Tax here will be 0. For that agricultural part, tax will be 0. For this also, tax will be 0. Yes or no? Which means when your other income itself is less than basic exemption limit, is there a possibility that you will have a tax payable? No. Which means do you have to do partial integration? No. Okay. So one silent rule for you: if you do not have a basic exemption limit itself, there is no point of you doing a tax payable. There is no point of you doing a tax payable. You can directly say partial integration is not applicable because anyway everything is going to become 0. Anyway everything is going to become 0. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Next. 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 Next to silent rule, I am saying that partial integration only makes sense. Partial integration only makes sense if the partial integration is going to help you change the slab. If the partial integration is only going to help you change the slab. What do I mean, Rahul? Again, let's take my scale. Let's take my scale. Yes, I have an other income. I have an other income of, let's say, 2.7 lakhs. I have another income of 2.7 lakhs and my agriculture income is showing 30,000. My agriculture income is showing 30,000. My overall is 3 lakhs. Yes or no? My overall is 3 lakhs. Now what will happen, Rahul? First priority up to 2.5 lakhs will go to other income, which means this is all other income. How much is my other income left, ma? 20,000. Yes, but I will first give priority to agricultural income. So 2.5 and the 2.8 will be agricultural income. Yes or no? Mixture 2.8 and the 20,000 will be other income. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now tell me what is the tax rates. Tell me what is the tax rates for other income taxes. First other income it is 0. For this agriculture income it is 5%. It is 5%. This other income is also 5%. Yes or no? Yes or no? No. On the first part will I pay tax? No. On this tax is 0. On agricultural part also tax is 0. Other income tax will be 5%. Yes or no? Which means Rahul, even if I had not put this agricultural income, this would have still been taxable at 5%. Yes or no? I could have directly put what? I could have put 0 to 2.7 lakhs. Yes or no? Where what would have happened? 2.5 lakhs would have been my other income, which was anyway 0. Mixture 20,000 could have been my other income, which could have been 5%. Na inge potalo adada, na ange potalo adada. Is partial integration helping me in any way? Is partial integration helping me in any way? No, partial integration is not helping me in any way. In which case, do you think partial integration is making sense? Not making sense. Not making sense. In which case, you can ignore it off. Rahul, why did partial integration not make sense? Because understand, your slab did not change. Your slab did not change. The reason I'm asking you to do this partial integration is because your total income overall, including the agriculture income, may end up asking you higher tax. In this scenario, are you ending up with higher taxes? No, you're not ending up with higher taxes because the slab has not changed. The slab has not changed. If I had my slab to change, if I wanted my slab to change, this should have bare minimum been at least 3,30,000. This should have bare minimum been at least 3,30,000. Why, Rahul? Then it would have become 6 lakhs. Yes, no, then it would have become 6 lakhs. In which case, what I would have done? I would have said for the first 2.5 lakhs will be my other income. Then I will prioritize agricultural income. Till what extent? Till 5 lakhs and then another 1,30,000. So 6,30,000. And then I would have brought my other income for an additional 20,000. Yes or no? This is correct. 2.5. This will be 80,000. No? So 5,80,000. This will be 5,80,000 and this will become 6.0. This will become 6.0. Now understand, 2.5 to 5 is my agri income. 5 to 5.8 is my agri income. 5.8 to others is my other income. Yes or no? Yes. Now, this is going to be not taxable. This is going to be not taxable. This is going to be not taxable. Other income is going to be how much? 20%. Yes. Had I not done partial integration, it would have been 5%. Now it has become 20%. You see the slab is changing. See the slab is changing. Only then partial integration makes sense. Only then partial integration makes sense. Which means in a scenario where your partial integration is not going to change your slab, where your partial integration is not going to change your slab, don't bother about it. Don't bother about it. You can continue with the normal thing. You can say partial integration not applicable. You can say partial integration not applicable. Two rules I am telling you. These rules are not there in the act. These rules are not there in the act. It comes from the computation. It comes from the computation. If you try to do computation, you will realize partial integration is not helping you. You will realize partial integration is not helping you. So you can automatically do it. You can automatically do it. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Two simple rules to keep in mind. Two simple rules to keep in mind. Any doubts? Any doubts? No? You can, if you want, note it down, or you can let it go. If you want, you can note it down, or you can let it go, because from final level syllabus, agriculture income is not being tested. Is not being tested, so it's not important. But in case or a question vanduchuna, just be careful about it. Okay. The question which will come in exam will not come and tell you to do partial integration. The question exam will come and say there is an other income, there is an agriculture income, find a tax. Find a tax. You need to be careful about the fact that agriculture income is not exempt, agriculture income is partially integrated. Agriculture income is partially integrated. Going forward, whenever we discuss, we will never use the word as agriculture income being exempt. We will say agriculture income is partially integrated. Yes or no? Yes, we will say agriculture income is partially integrated, so that we remember in future that whenever there is a tax, we will not say it is exempt, it is partially integrated. But yes, if the person is a non-slab rate person, we will say exempt. We will say exempt. Clear? Clear? Any doubts? No doubts? Can we go forward? Can we go forward? Yes. Awesome. This marks the end of your part A of the syllabus. This marks the end of your part A of the syllabus. We are done with our part A of the syllabus, and we'll be moving on to our part B. Which is our computation of total income. We'll be moving on to our part B, which is our computation of total income. Like I told you, we'll be starting with PGBP. Since we are short on time today, I will not start with PGBP. What I'm going to do is, I told you, as a part of your syllabus, salaries and HP have been removed. But questions around that are still coming. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this notes. You have one page in the middle. You have one page in the middle called 33. Yes, on this 33, we are going to write the notes which are relevant for HP and salaries. We are going to write the notes which are relevant for HP and salaries. From exam perspective, this alone is enough. You don't have to read the whole HP. You don't have to read the whole salaries. What notes I give you should suffice. Okay. Can we write the notes? Yes, let's write the notes. Heading will be called as taxation of salaries. What is heading? Taxation of salaries. Yes. Now, if you remember from your inter syllabus, there was many things, basic, DA, HRA, this allowance, that allowance, and all those things. Nothing is there for exam. The only thing which you need to keep in mind is, whenever you have a salaries, you are mandatory to give 3 deductions under section 16. You are mandatory to give 3 deductions under section 16. Deduction number 1 is called as your standard deduction. What deduction? Standard deduction. Rahul, how much is the amount? Amount is 50,000. Standard deduction amount is 50,000. Yes or no? Second deduction is professional tax paid. Second deduction is professional tax paid. Now, this payment can happen either by employer or can happen by employee. It doesn't matter. Okay. Whatever professional tax has been paid either by the employer or by the employee can be claimed as a deduction. Third item is entertainment allowance. What is the third item? Entertainment allowance, only for, any idea? only for government employees. Entertainment allowance only for government employees. Yes, yes, which means in exam they will come and say that Rahul, there is a person called A, he has received 30,000 per month as salary. He has received 30,000 per month as salary, which means his overall salary is 3,60,000. His overall salary is 3,60,000. In that you will give three deductions. What deductions? Standard deduction, professional tax, entertainment allowance. Now entertainment allowance has some limits and everything, therefore this is not coming for exam. This is definitely not coming for exam, so you can ignore entertainment allowance. You can ignore entertainment allowance because they have some deductions and everything. It will not come for exam. It will not come for exam. The only two items which are coming for exam is standard deduction, professional tax. So in the question, if they come and say, Rahul, there is a person who has received 40,000 rupees per month salary, 40,000 rupees per month salary, please understand he is received per month. He is received per month, which means this is the total amount which is received. This is the total amount which is received. So 40,000 into 12 will give you 4,80,000. I don't want the amount which he received. I want the income from salary. So I have to give 50,000 deduction. I'll have to give a 50,000 deduction. Separately, if the question comes and says that professional tax is paid, you will claim that also. You will claim that also. Yes or no? Yes. Now Rahul, like I told you, since we have started the computation of total income, I told you every time I complete a chapter, I will also tell you what happens in the regimes. What happens in the regime. So we need to talk about two regimes. We need to talk about two regimes. One regime is called as default regime. The other regime is called as alternate regime. The other regime is called as default regime. First regime is called as default regime. The second regime is called as alternate regime. Rahul, default regime you will lose deductions or alternate regime you will lose deductions? You will lose deductions in default because default is nothing but 115 BSc. Yes, income tax is coming and saying if you are in default regime, you cannot claim professional tax, you cannot claim entertainment allowance. You cannot claim professional tax, you cannot claim entertainment allowance. You can claim in alternate regime both. You can claim alternate regime both. Yes, current year amendment till last year, standard deduction could have been claimed only in alternate regime. In current year, you can also claim this for default regime, which means in the current year, income tax has come and said if you opt for default regime, even in default regime, you are permitted for standard deduction of 50,000. You are permitted for standard deduction of 50,000, which means going forward in exam, the moment you see a salary heading, whether it is special regime or it is normal regime, you will give standard deduction. You will give standard deduction. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes, this is what your income from salaries is. This is what your income from salaries is. Now in exam, I told you professional tax may not come, entertainment allowance may not come, standard deduction will come. Standard deduction will come. How to know whether you should give standard deduction or not? Yes, how to know whether you should give standard deduction or not? Rules are like this. Rules are like this. If the question says what are the scenarios when you should give standard deduction? What are the scenarios where you should not give standard deduction? Yes, assuming you see a question, the question says income from salary within bracket computed. Income from salary within bracket computed. It means standard deduction is given, not given. It is already given, which means should you give? No. So therefore, to not give standard deduction when it is already computed. Don't give standard deduction when it is already computed. Yes, this is when you should not give a standard deduction. Second, they did not use the word computed, Rahul, but the wording says income from salaries. The wording says income from salaries. It means it is already given, not given. Already given. So which means should you give, not give? Should not give. So therefore, if heading says heading says income from salaries, if what heading says income from salaries. Yes or no? Yes or no? Rahul, when should you give standard deductions? When should you give standard deduction? If salary is given on month basis. What has happened? Salary is given on month basis. Question clear that the person has received 20,000 per month. It means obviously that is the basic salary only. That is the basic salary only, which means you have to give standard deduction. Second, they say if question says this salary is received the salaries received. What do you mean by that, Rahul? Hey, understand, no, if the question comes and says that there is a person who has received 3 lakh rupees, it means he has got in hand 3 lakhs. Am I bothered about what he got in hand? No, I am bothered about what is his income. Now, if he has got 3 lakhs in hand, meaning 3 lakhs is his basic salary, which means you need to give him standard deduction. Yes or no? Yes. So these are the two scenarios. Scenario number 1, if the salary is given on month basis. Scenario number 2 is if the salary is given on received basis. When you should not give standard deduction if it is already computed or the heading says income from salary. Clear? Yes, this is for taxation of salaries. Idu mattum poro. Next is your heading called as taxation of IFHP. Yes. In taxation of IFHP, you don't have an option. You have to read the full format. There is only one benefit for you. They may not ask you how to compute GAV. In inter, you would have learned municipal value or fair rent, whichever is higher, versus standard rent, whichever is lower. That may not be required. But everything else is mandatory. Which means you need to prepare the format. Format is SOP, then LOP, then DLOP. SOP, LOP and DLOP. Start from GAV. SOP ku GAV irukoma irukada? Irukadu. LOP ku irukum. DLOP irukum. Yes. Next, after GAV, you will reduce municipal tax actually paid by owner. Municipal tax actually paid by owner. If you remember from your inter syllabus, municipal tax have two conditions. First condition, it should be paid in the current year. Second condition, it should be paid by the owner. Yes, both the conditions to be satisfied. Hey, will you get an MT for SOP? Will you get an MT for SOP? No. Will you get it for LOP? Yes. Will you get it for DLOP? Yes. You will get it for SOP and DLOP. This will arrive at what is called as NAV. What is called as NAV. In SOP, NAV is 0. LOP, NAV is number there, and DLOP also number is there. Yes or no? Yes. From this, you would have reduced something called as deductions under section 24. In that, the first item which you would have reduced is called as 30% of NAV. Standard. Yes. Standardly they are coming and saying 30% of NAV, remove it off. Will it have for SOP? No. Will you have it for LOP? Yes. Will you have it for DLOP? Yes. Now understand, the moment you reduce 30% of NAV, no other expenses can be claimed. So repairs, renovation, ground rent, any other charges, light charges and all those things not allowed. Any other charges and all is not allowed. Yes or no? Yes. Second, Rahul, you are eligible for interest on loan. Yes or no? Yes. So two items which will be allowed as deduction. One item is called as 30% of NAV. Second item is called as interest on loan. In income tax, interest on loan is fully allowed as a deduction when it comes to LOP property. It is fully allowed as deduction if it comes to DLOP property. Yes, no restrictions. In SOP property, I will come and ask you, dear sir, tell me, are you opting for default regime or are you opting for alternate regime? If you say, Rahul, I am opting for default regime, no deduction for you. No allowance. No. allowance. This is what says. This is what it says. If you are opting for alternate regime, you can claim maximum 2 lakhs per annum. You can claim maximum 2 lakhs per annum. Yes or no? Yes. Now, if you remember all those provisions and all, there are some conditions. You satisfy 3 conditions. Loan should be taken after 1999. Loan should be taken for acquisition. House should be completed within 5 years. You satisfy all that condition, you will get 2 lakhs. You don't satisfy any one of the condition, you will get 30,000. You'll get 30,000. So that conditions are there. In exam, I have not seen a scenario where they ask you 30,000 cases and all. Okay, so they'll only ask you 2 lakh scenarios. So simple. Default regime in the no deduction, alternate regime in the deduction. This will arrive at what you call as income from house property. This will arrive at what you call as income from house property. Yes or no? Yes, this is what your income from house property looks like. In simple words, if I have to come and explain to you, SOP Puerto Rico, income from house property will always be 0. SOP Puerto Rico, income from house property will always be 0 if it is default regime. If it is alternate regime, you will get the deduction of the IOL. LOP, DLOP does not matter whether you follow alternate regime or does not matter if you follow default regime. Both are the same. The one question which may probably come in exam is called as arrears of rent or unrealized rent. What rent? Arrears of rent or unrealized rent. If ICI does not want to test you on so much format, they will directly give you one item called as arrears of rent or unrealized rent. Rahul, what is arrears of rent or unrealized rent? Rent of the past years which you had received earlier, which you were supposed to receive earlier but did not receive, you received it today. Income tax says it is fully taxable. Provision come and say if you have unrealized rent or arrears of rent, it is fully taxable in the year of receipt, even if you are not the owner today. Fully taxable in the year of receipt, even if you are not the owner today. Question will come and say, Rahul, there is a property which you sold off. When you had the property, 20,000 was supposed to be received, you did not receive it. Current year you received the 20,000. Taxable, not taxable? Taxable. Because even if you don't have the property, the house was pertaining to earlier years, rent was also pertaining to earlier years, it will become taxable. But you are eligible for the 30% of NAV deduction. You are eligible for 30% of NAV deduction. ICI loves to play here only. What they'll come and say in the question, they'll come and say, Rahul, a person has received a rent of 20,000. Pertaining to older years. Current year he does not have the house. Taxable, not taxable? Taxable. How much taxable, Rahul? 20,000 is not taxable. It is 20,000 minus 30% of 20,000. Which means 6,000 will be removed. Left off number is 14,000, which is taxable. Which means in this also you have to follow the same salaries concept. If the question comes and says rent received, you have to give 30% deduction. If the question comes and says income from house property computed, you will not give the deduction. Okay, you have to look at the question properly. If the question says rent is received, then you have to give 30% deduction. If the question says income from house property, or the question says house property computed, you will say no deduction to be granted. So the rules on the top will same just like that copy paste for HP. From exam perspective, this too is enough. This page alone is enough. If you read this much alone, it is enough for your exam purposes. Beyond that, these two chapters, nothing else will be tested. Clear? Why am I putting it out, Rahul, right now? Because we will go to international taxation. In international taxation, individual taxation will come. When that comes, that time we will discuss. So right now, we will need this for double taxation relief, and so I'm putting it out right now for you. Clear? Yes. Great. We are out of time, so let's complete the day for today. Next class, we're going to start with PGBP. Next class we're going to start with PGBP. So please revise your part A income. Please revise your whole part A income. PGBP will take references from part A also. Okay, so please revise your part A income. Next class we'll start PGBP. There is a big chapter. I will tell you how much to read only. I will teach you everything, but I will tell you from exam perspective also how much to read. Some things are not very relevant from exam. At the same time, in my book, you will find some special adjustments and everything also, which should help you in exam because these are past exam questions. Okay, so PGBP in my book should be a clear-cut, simple chapter, which I should help you in the easiest manner. Yes, so please prepare and come for part A so that we can move to part B. All right. Yes, Ritani, any doubts? Can we go forward?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you, people. Have a good day.